Ball Stadium, just minutes away from the much-anticipated home opener for the Carmel Greyhounds. I'm here with GiGi Welp for your CHTV pregame show.
That's right, Sean, and we certainly have a lot to talk about. Starting off with Carmel's 14-7 victory over Homestead last Friday. Dashaun, what did we see in that game that was good?
Yeah, that was a very nice, hard-fought game. It was a very defensive-oriented game. Carmel ended up winning that game because of a defensive touchdown, a pick six from Christian Peterson, and yeah, it was just a very defensive game, very hard-fought game, and there were some things that went well. What can you tell us about the things that went well in that game?
Well, like you said, Sean, defense was very strong, especially Artemis Bryant, the inside linebacker for the defense of Carmel. He's a senior. He got tackled with 2 sacks. Now, to compare to last year's tackle leader, Will Hell only got 9 tackles per game last year, so already Bryant is looking good to lead Carmel's defense against this tough cadet team.
Very true, and those were also Christian Peterson was very good defensively. He had an interception and obviously the touchdown we talked about earlier. But there's also some things that Carmel's going to need to improve on. We only had 53 passing yards in that game against a not-so-tough Homestead defense. I would say I believe the Cadets are going to come out better defensively than Homestead, so we're going to have to be really careful. Also, to play more. Only 11 pass attempts and only 4 in the second half when we needed a touchdown. And the last thing is ball protection. We had 2 fumbles from 2 different running backs, so if we're going to want to win this game, we're going to have to take care of the ball.
That's a little bit about Carmel's tough opponents tonight. The Christian Brothers Cadets are currently 0-0. This is their first game of the season, but last season they went 13-1 and they were second in the state. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with. They come all the way from St. Louis, Missouri to match up against our Carmel Greyhounds tonight. They are led by number 18, Cole McKee, a senior, as quarterback, who passed for nearly 2,000 yards last season. And one of their key players is Jeremiah McClellan, a 4-star commit to Ohio State University. He got 1,100 receiving yards last season, which is 200 more than last year's receiving yards leader, Reese Fallon, for Carmel. So this offense from the Christian Brothers Cadets is going to come out very strong. There will be a solid matchup for Carmel's defense, but for sure, if Carmel is going to compete with the Cadets, they need to get the ball in the air more. Anthony Coulter needs some room to throw to his receivers, especially Nathan Rogers, the senior, who has been out the last couple of games, but we think that he is going to be playing tonight. Dashaun?
Yeah, and I actually have some unfortunate news. I was over there earlier with the players, and he had black shorts on, which is usually a sign that he's not going to be playing. We're not sure, but obviously we'll see very soon. Speaking, it's one of the most dynamic offenses I've ever seen. Whatever you give them, they're going to take. If you're giving them too much space to run, they're going to run. If you're sending more people, they're going to be able to throw that ball. They're dynamic on the ground and through the air, which is why they were able to have 12 40-point games last season, multiple 50-point games, and multiple 60-point games. This offense is capable of beating you down. So, and if it does, that's not a good look for Carmel, considering this is their home opener. We want to get our fans on our side this year, and it would not be a good look if we got pummeled as the Cadets have been able to do last year.
That's right, Dashaun. And with the unfortunate news of hearing that Nathan Rogers is most likely going to be out this game, the Greyhounds are going to have to look to Ozzie Pollard, the junior tight end, who currently leads in receiving yards. He got 27 last game, and he did contribute 1 rushing touchdown. Although he has only 2 years of experience on this team, he is the Greyhounds' best hope. We need him and Anthony Coulter, the sophomore quarterback, to work together, get that ball in the air, get those feet in the end zone, and work on our offense.
Yep, and with that, I believe that wraps up our pregame show. Now let's send it up to KC and Noah.
Coach was not just a coach. He was a mentor, a leader, and a source of inspiration for everyone he touched. His dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment to the sport and to the development of our students extended far beyond the field. His guidance and encouragement have left an indelible mark on the lives of countless individuals, fostering not only athletic growth, but also personal growth. consider supporting the Marching Greyhounds by purchasing a car raffle ticket from any member or parent. For just $20, you have great odds of winning a choice of Dreyer and Reinbold BMW or mini automobiles or $25,000 in cash. The 2023 Marching Greyhounds would like to continue a Carmel High School pre-game tradition. And we ask you all to please rise and sing along during the band's special version of our national anthem. This performance is dedicated to the men and women who are currently serving our country, as well as to those who have lost their lives fighting for our freedom. And now, help us honor America while the band, under the direction of Director of Bands Michael Pote, performs the Star-Spangled Banner.
Live in the booth, I'm Casey Stevens. Atmosphere is electric, student section filling up, and we got brand new turf on the field here for this 2023 season.
It's going to be an exciting matchup tonight. The Carmel Greyhounds taking on the Christian Brothers Cadets. It's going to be a matchup to watch here tonight.
Yeah, the pride of Missouri Catholic schools is here. It is Christian Brothers, and They're pretty good. Ranked second in Missouri. Carmel's just 18th in Indiana, but I think we have a great matchup for tonight.
You know, it's going to be a matchup to watch more of. Like we were talking earlier, it's the offense against the defense.
Yeah, Carmel's defense is spectacular, very high ceiling going into this year, but the Cadets' offense is also stellar. So those possessions where we have Carmel's defense going off against Christian Brothers' offense is really going to decide the game.
You know, like you said, the offense for this Cadets team, led by their senior wide receiver commit to Ohio State University, Jeremiah McClennan. He's going to tear up the defense tonight, but he's going to be matched up against a star cornerback for the Greyhounds, Christian Peterson. Basically won the game for the Greyhounds last week, 14-7 victory with a 68-yard interception return. So he's going to be the impact player tonight on defense.
Yeah, that's right. Peterson really put the team on his back late in the game, and we can expect that from this Hounds defense all this season, that's going to be the make or break plays is what this defense can do. Like we were talking earlier, the defense really put a load on their back last game, 36 minutes on the field, hoping to get maybe a little bit more offense tonight.
And like you said, offense tonight, 36 minutes on the field, but it's going to be the heat. Over 90 degrees tonight.
The heat is a factor for sure.
It's going to be a big difference. This Carmel team has been able to train throughout this week in the heat with no pads, but putting on those pads and going kind of under the lights, the sun is still out. We were talking, both of these teams want the sun to dip below where you're kind of playing in the shade. But it's going to be the key difference is the sun is going to be in the eyes of both teams tonight, and it's going to be which team is able to combat that earlier than later.
Yeah, both teams really battling the elements more than battling each other tonight.
And like you said, this Carmel team battling the elements. And throughout the entire season, they're going to be battling it tonight with a few moves in the lineup with a sophomore starting at wide receiver, Jake Bellin. We're also going to see Norval Tucker moving back to running back when he played wide receiver just last game. And that's going to be the big difference as Carmel had 2 fumbles late in the game against their last game that they played against the Homestead Spartans. 2 crucial fumbles, but they were still that defense. That's going to be the key for this team tonight.
Just moments away from kickoff here as captains meet at the 50-yard line.
With both captains, all the captains out there, Artie Bryant with a sack just last week. Number 9, Christian Peterson. Ozzie Pollard, who scored the only offensive touchdown for the Greyhounds, playing more in that tight end fullback position, just a junior standing at 6'5". He is one big guy out there on the field, and he's he might be more of a blocking tight end tonight, with the Greyhounds only throwing the ball 12 times for 68 yards with a sophomore quarterback in Anthony Kohler. It's going to be the big difference. Is Anthony Kohler able to step up tonight with a strong defense in the Cadets, or is he going to be kind of trapped and going to rely on his offensive linemen to give him time if they are passing, or are we going to be seeing more Norval Tucker tonight?
Yeah, that's really the big storyline going into this year is that a lot of people are saying it's a rebuild year for Carmel, kind of just hoping these guys can age up, but that's really a great thing for the future. A lot of young guys, a lot of great talent in the youth and these underclassmen that are getting some minutes in varsity this season, and there's going to be a lot of hope for the rest of the year and then going on for the next few years.
And for the Cadets, you're going to be seeing their star players, 10 players on the Cadets, both on offense and defense, have D1 offers. So this team that Carmel's going up against has completely, in my opinion, might outmatch the Greyhounds tonight, just talent-wise, but the Greyhounds do have home field advantage, the heat, and it's more of, is this home field advantage and just the team effort and one game already in the books going to be the key difference tonight.
And keep in mind a 4-hour bus ride from St. Louis from this Cadet team.
And we saw the coin toss just happening moments ago with the Greyhounds electing to receive and the Cadets going to defer, meaning the Cadets are going to start with the ball in the second half. Greyhounds looking to make a start here early. We saw Christian Peterson with a 51-yard return the last game that the Greyhounds played. He's going to be the massive impact players if he's able to do everything for the Greyhounds tonight. Christian Brothers lines up for the first kick. It's going to be a short kick over to Pollard, and that one's going to go out of bounds at the 35 flag very early with the ball going out of bounds. As the ball is going to be advanced just a few yards up the field, not expecting kind of a squib kick. early in this gate.
Yeah, you're not sure if they're just trying to catch Carmel off guard a little bit or if it just kind of hit off the toe of his foot a little too much. But either way, Carmel has great field possession to start off this game.
You're right. And I'm not much of a kicker myself, but, you know, I did play a little bit of soccer here and there. But kicking a football might be one of the hardest things to do because if you can't line it up really right, you're going to get it off your foot. The Greyhounds are going to start with Colin Johnson, the junior, as the starting running back. 2 wide receivers out to his right. And this Cadets team is going to be one hard team to kind of go up against for this Carmel offense. As Coyer is going to get under center here. Pollard in motion. First snap is going to be an outside handoff to Johnson. He cuts up the middle, spin move, and he's going to be able to gain a few yards as the momentum is already shifted over to the Greyhounds.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue for this game is who will have the momentum. And so if Carmel can just keep pushing the ball, getting into the face of this Cadets defense, they can keep the momentum going, keep pushing that envelope, and put some points on the board early.
As Johnson was able to pick up 6 there, so it's going to be a 2-4 with 11:33 left to play in the first quarter as Johnson's going to stay out there. Toole and Mace are going to be over to the right for corner as a motion is going to be set now. Ramirez and Pollard are going to be shifted over to the right side. Coyer's going to take the snap. A quick handoff over to Johnson once again as he's able to run up downhill once again. And it looks like he's going to be able to pick up the first down for the Greyhounds.
Johnson already getting some action, really getting around this defense well.
And Johnson is going to need to pick up the slack from last week as he had a crucial fumble in the fourth quarter, which gave the Homestead Spartans a great field possession, and the Spartans were not able to capitalize on that. And Greyhounds defense is going to be the X factor for them tonight.
Well, first down of the game for the Hounds and a whole new set of downs here early in the first quarter.
As Coyer is going to be in shotgun. 2 wide receivers to his right. Motion. Play action fake as Knutson is going to be able to run up and gain, it looks like 6 yards off of that. So a 2-4 coming up with 10:40 left to go.
Coyer still yet to throw the ball, but the run game seems to be picking up the slack so far. Excellent run game, getting about 5 or 6 yards per carry so far.
And if the Greyhounds are able to do an immense amount of running tonight, they are going to be able to tire out the strong defensive line for the Cadets. As Coyer is going to line up, trips to left, shotgun, running back to his left as he's going to do quick handoff, but once again a strong combat that we just saw. Tristan Abraham, strong player for the Cadets, as he was able to get a tackle for a loss very quickly. He looked like he was kind of tearing a piece of paper and really getting right into there.
Yeah, we could see the first few plays, the Hounds are really just trying to run the ball, see how much they could get, but I think maybe now we'll try to mix up the formula after that pretty big stop at the Cadets.
And like you said, mixing up the formula, so they're in a new play set as 2 to the left as Coyer's going to look for his first pass, rolls out to his left, tells Etoole to run downfield as he is open. A wobbly pass, Etoole is going to get a touchdown for the Greyhounds as the Greyhounds are able to attack very quickly.
All about momentum, KC, and that was a massive shift in momentum by the Hounds.
And Coyer was able to just direct traffic there, sending his wide receiver, E. Patel, down the line. A wobbly pass, but it did not matter. Coyer was able to put that on the money. Battle was able to track it down and run it right in to the end zone. So a 6-0 lead for the Greyhounds as Plazchek is going to line up to possibly give the Greyhounds a 7-0 lead, as that one's going to go right through the middle, and the Greyhounds are starting this game off with perfect position.
Yeah, big question mark going into this week was the pass game, and how would it be with a young QB unit? But that really sets the tone, for sure.
It does. That's the first pass. But the Greyhounds are able to already make an impact on the number 2 ranked team in Missouri, just winning the state championship in 6A football, the Cadets were. So they are going to look to bounce back, and this Cadets offense is one to look at. Noah, might be one of the most exciting offenses that the Greyhounds are going up against the entire season.
Hounds set to kick off now with a 7-0 lead early in the first quarter.
Now, the Cadets are going to be taking a toll this year on their offense as they're going to be losing one of their top running backs. Just last year, Jeremiah Love having a total of 35 offers, a 5-star recruit running back, and he committed just to Notre Dame. So kind of coming to Indiana, he might be at this game tonight, cheering on the Cadets as Plauschek lines up for the kick at the 40-yard line. Quick little off the toe over to the Cadets. Runs around, has a chance. Gets to the 40, breaks away at the 50 to the 40, possibly stopped by Plauschek, breaks the tackle when he's going to be tackled down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, this Hound special team unit just looked blatantly terrible on that. A lot of guys falling over each other, tripping on themselves, and a massive kickoff gain for the Cadets.
As Corey Sims, one of the star players for this Cadets team, the number 2 receiver, he is one scary guy to get matched up against tonight. But this is the matchup we were talking about earlier. Jeremiah McClellan going up against Christian Peterson, the matchup to watch. Number 3, Christian Peterson going up against number 3, Jeremiah McClellan. It's going to be an amazing game to watch, as it's going to be a quick pass over to McClellan. He's going to get it at the 35, take a stumble, and able to break away as Randolph is not able to get that. And just like that, an Ohio State commit was able to get down all the way to the 10-yard line.
Late flag on the play. We'll see what it is.
I believe it may be a late hit.
That's what I was thinking.
As he was out of bounds, and it looked like Randolph
McClain had a few feet out of bounds before he actually got hit for that third time. But like you were saying, the loss of Love last season for the Cadets, but McClellan's just as big of an issue for anybody. And so that's really this strength of this Cadets program, is that there's always the next guy up.
It is, and this team for the Greyhounds defense is going to need to step up. You're going to need to put on your number 1 guy against their number 1 guy. You might need to bring over some safety help, so you might be looking more to Hunter Snow, the safety, who dual athlete, baseball and football, but this is going to be the key. As Cole McKee is going to give it the snap up and a quick touchdown, as you're going to see Jared Stewart just get right into the backfield. 2 plays.
Untouched.
Yeah,
this Hounds defense knows that they cannot expect the offense to just keep pace the entire game, so they're going to have to be a lot better the rest of this game.
And time possession. Greyhounds had the ball at the very beginning, held it for about 3 minutes. We just saw the Cadets it felt like they had the ball, and they were kind of gone in less than 20 seconds.
They scored as they pleased for those first about 30 seconds.
They did, as they're going to line up for the kick here, and it's going to be right down the middle. So a 7-7, 9:02 left in the first quarter. Quick scoring, high scoring. We might see a game for the ages.
Yeah,
here.
Hounds and Cadets really just sharing punches so far early. So we'll see if they can kind of keep pace and who's going to be the first one to not score. And that's going to be, once again, momentum. Momentum's going to shift, and that's going to really decide who's taking advantage of this ball game.
It's really which team is going to be hit by the brick wall first. And if you are the first team to be hit, you're going to have to find a way to combat that and come back real fast.
And a lot of high energy for both teams. This is Christian Brothers' first game of the season, Carmel's home opener, so there's a lot of adrenaline flowing. So we'll see who really, like you said, hits that wall first.
And it's going to be Christian Brothers for the kickoff here, as the Greyhounds are going to break away. But quick score for the Cadets very early, under 20 seconds it felt like. So Greyhounds are going to need to not rely on luck, but they're going to need to rely on skill here.
Well, a big piece of it could also be, can we eat up the clock on offense? Can we make sure that we're not keeping that Cadet offense on the field as much as we can, still scoring, but taking our time doing so?
As the Cadets are going to line up for the kick. Going to be sent over to Peterson. He's going to let that one go over his head and into the end zone, so a touchback. Greyhounds are going to be starting now at the 20-yard line.
Way stronger kick this time for Christian Brothers.
It was a longer kick. This one not off the toe. As the Greyhounds defense able to score on their last possession, looking to really repeat that action once again here. As Coyer is going to have 2 receivers to his right and 1 to his left. Running back is going to be Tucker in the backfield. Snap is going to go to Tucker. He's going to run that one up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets to the 40, and gets taken down at the 38. Shoved to the ground a few more times, it looked like, by Tristan Abram, just the left end there. And he was able to get him all the way from the snap and ran him down.
Yeah, well, so far both the run team and the passing looks fantastic for Carmel, so it won't be of any concern as to if they can let the ball loose or if they have to keep it on the ground.
And it's the momentum in this game. They cannot let that one score by the Cadets get into their head, as the Cadets were able to just take it down the field. Greyhounds looking strong, and more of the fierceness coming out of this team, as they know this is going to be one of their hardest matchups. But Tucker just being moved to running back and making an impact as he gets the handoff once again, breaks a tackle, tries to get to the edge, and he's going to fumble the ball. And it looks like the Cadets have recovered at the 37-yard line.
It's all momentum, Casey.
It is all momentum, and ball control and fumbles has been an issue for the Greyhounds. Their third fumble of the year, having 2 in their last game against Homestead, and now their first one just coming in at 8:23 in the first quarter by Tucker.
Yeah, well, Tucker had that great carry just the play before, and so it shows you can't always trust him, and that's why this Hounds team is important to watch on offense. A lot of running backs they can go to if there's some issues holding on to the football.
And every single running back that they have in their kind of roster has a fumble. So it's all evened out now. Now it's more of which running back is going to make their stand. We saw Tucker just break off for an 18-yard run. And this is Cadets' chance as the Greyhounds hit the first brick wall. McKee is going to take the snap. He's going to hand it on over now to Stewart. Stewart's going to try and break up a strong defensive line, as Addy Bryant was the first one to get there, and that's going to be a total of 11 tackles now for him on the season.
Yeah, that's the Hounds defense we were expecting. Addy Bryant just being an absolute wall and not letting this Cadets team get any yardage.
Bryant had a total of 10 tackles by himself and a sack in the last game against the Homestead Spartans. If he's able to make an immense impact tonight, this Greyhounds team is going to be great tonight. As the Greyhounds were able to bring him down once again. Addy Bryant, the first one there. He is going to be the key factor tonight, as he is one of the top defensive linemen, more of an outside linebacker who's able to drop in coverage but kind of rush the quarterback. And he's going to need to be another factor, as Christian Peterson is going to be the main guy to rely on. But Addy Bryant is going to need to step up in this game.
Well, first third down of the game for the Cadets. This is a really big opportunity because they're not quite in field goal range, so we'll see if they can get just enough or if they'll have to try to stretch out the leg of their kicker.
As McKillen is going to be in the Wildcat, calls for the snap, tries to run up the middle, breaks out to the outside, and is able to take it down to the 19-yard line, as that's going to be a first down for the Cadets.
Yeah, more than enough there for McClellan, and they are finally in the red zone, going to try to get Carmel with another punch. Once again, just going at the teeth of each other here tonight.
And this is the chance for the Cadets to really break the tie. It's a 7-7 tie now at the home field, as McKee is going to take the snap. 2 running backs, sends it over to Sims. Sims is going to find a seam, and he's going to be tripped over his own feet, as the Greyhounds, that was all luck right there.
That was entirely luck. Carmel's got to be thankful that he tripped over himself there. He was gone otherwise.
He saw that seam, and I feel like he may have gotten too excited.
Almost.
Tripped over his own feet.
You'd be excited, too, if you just beat 3 Carmel defenders.
I would be. If I saw that open field, the touchdown end zone right there, I would be so excited. That's McKee. No one is going to be able to block us. It's going to be a handoff to Stewart. Stewart's going to try and spin out of that one, and it looks like, once again, Zale Day is going to be able to bring him down, as Zale Day kind of had a field day not that long ago against the Homestead Spartans. He was that big nose tackle, able to wrap up 4 tackles in that game.
Well, brings up another third down. Carmel's already doing way better this defensive possession of keeping the Cadets from scoring too quickly. They're forcing negative yardage, they're forcing short yardage, and here's another third down. Big opportunity for the Hounds.
As once again, McKee is going to look to his offense, as a timeout is going to be called by Scott Pingle. Now, this is the guy to look forward to. Scott Pingle, one of the top coaches in the state of Missouri. Let me tell you a little bit about this guy, Noah.
Yeah, go ahead.
This guy played D3 football, right? Played in Germany and played in the arena. So he has football knowledge.
Quite a resume.
Yes. Picked up in the 2000 free agent by the Buffalo Bills. You know, he has won back-to-back state championships for the Cadets. This guy is on a roll. He's one of the top coaches, most likely in the nation.
everything about this cadet team is elite, and that includes the coaching.
Like you said, this team is elite, and I really think the coaching by Pingle is why Jeremy McLennan is so good. Pingle, when he played D3 football, broke Jerry Rice's all-time receiving record and had well over 2,000 yards in just one season. So he's able to train up these players, these wideouts, possibly the running backs too, and he's able to just make that impact on them and say, hey, I played in the league, I'm going to try and get you there. As we've seen 3 players from Christian Brothers make the NFL, one of them are still in the league right now as a Green Bay Packers safety.
Well, and it shows that good players find good coaching and vice versa. So McLennan recognizing how great of a coaching staff they have here at Christian Brothers really shows the strength of this team.
Like you said, the strength of this team, they are already knocking on the door of another punch-in right here. 7-7 lead with 5:55 left after a timeout was just called by the Cadets. McKillen is going to be lined up against Peterson at the top of your screen. It's going to be a handoff to Stewart. Stewart's going to try and break her way and get another touchdown here as he's going to be dragged down by Snow at the 2-yard line.
Christian Peterson for the Greyhounds. First and goal from the 2-yard line.
And Noah, this is where you could possibly do a quarterback sneak, try and get over your linemen and trust that they were going to be able to carry you, or you hand it off to your 2 strong running backs in Alex Morris or Jude Pingle.
You definitely have options.
As it's going to be a throw and a Randy Moss catch over Jabril Randolph, as Jeremiah McKillen just showed why he is a top recruit here in the state of Missouri and was able to just jump over and get that with ease.
Yeah, not the outcome we wanted here on this possession for the Hounds, but it's improvement. First possession for Christian Brothers took about 30 seconds. This one took a few minutes off the clock, and the Hounds are kind of starting to find their footing here as a defensive unit.
As that one's going to go through the upright, so a 7-14 lead. The Greyhounds coming on for their 3rd drive now as the Norville Tucker fumble set up the Cadets to get an easy 2-yard corner pass over to McKillen, and he was able to just jump over his defender and really score with complete ease, it felt like. It feels like he practices those catches any chance he gets.
You know, they like to say in any sport, it's great to have a very terrible memory, have a short memory. And so I'm excited to see how Tucker adapts after coughing up the ball last time that resulted in a Cadet touchdown. Can he keep his cool? Can he be the player that we know he is for the rest of this game?
And we've seen the Greyhounds kind of take a few hits already after week 1. Nathan Rogers, who was supposed to be their ace receiver tonight, has been out with an injury to his elbow throughout most of the season. And their top running back, Elijah Al-Fayed, also out. Both players are relied on to make immense impacts anytime they are on the field, with Elijah Al-Fayed being the lead running back just last year as a junior, and as a senior starting off the season just injured. He needs, when both of these players come back, I think the Greyhounds are going to be looking to make more strides than they already have.
For sure, a lot of great future ahead for this Hounds team. We got 5 minutes left in the first quarter and already matched the point total from last week.
You're right. So I think the Greyhounds actually have a chance to continue to build on that. Last week, first win of the season. A lot of people were not expecting them to really win that many games. They came out pretty much scorching fire. They were able to get great pass down the field to E. Battelle, and he was able to get that one into the end zone. But the Cadets scoring with ease. The Greyhounds defense needs to step up tonight like they did. They first drive for the Cadets, pretty much a 20-second touchdown. Second drive, they extended it some more of about 3 or 4 minutes. So the Greyhounds are looking to extend that strong defense. But first, here is a possible other drive for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, real important drive for the offense here. Try to keep pace with the Cadets. Otherwise, you could be down 2 scores by the end of the first quarter.
As Peterson lets that one go over his head once again. So another touchback. Ball is going to be starting at the 20-yard line. Greyhounds might be looking to use more of their running back room, as we've seen all 3 running backs, Colin Johnson, Norville Tucker, and Brady Knudsen, all out there on the field. And really, Norville Tucker broke away with that 18-yard run the last drive, and then the ball was handed right to him, and he was not able to cover it. He hit the ground, and the ball just kind of popped out.
Well, I think part of the strength of this Hounds team is the running back unit, and that all 3 guys you can trust, and they've all had positive yardage so far this game.
as you're going to be seeing Knutson in the backfield now with Mace to the right and Battelle to the left. As Knutson, play action fake, looks over to Pollard. Pollard has a free end, and he drops that one off the fingertips.
Yeah, a little over his head, just wasn't in the right spot. But it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Hounds.
And Ozzie Pollard, that tight end for this Greyhounds team, he's able to get on the line and block with that large 6'5" frame, and he's able to run up the sideline and catch passes with just ease. So he's the player to kind of watch, as he was the only offensive player for the Greyhounds to score a touchdown in the win against the Homestead Spartans just last week. As motion now, Pollard is going to be over now. You have 3 to the right of Coyer. Knutson is going to take the snap up the middle, tries to break away, but he's going to be swallowed up there. So a 3 and 8 is what the Greyhounds are going to be facing now.
Yeah, not the spot that the Hounds wanted at this point in the game. Still very early. But at this rate, they're going to end up in a 3 and out, and the Cadets have an opportunity to go up 2 scores, and that is not the hole the Hounds want to fall into.
That is not. The Greyhounds are looking not to be put into the doghouse tonight and real early in the game, as it's only a 7-14 lead. As Coyer is going to be in shotgun now. 3 receivers to his right. Knutson in the backfield. Pollard up to block. Motion. Coyer's going to look to his right as he's able to try and escape, and is going to be brought down quickly by Tristan Abram, as he has been a factor. We've seen him really swallow up anyone who's been running towards him and getting a sack early in this game. He's been a key factor for the Cadets.
Yeah, disappointing drive for the Hounds. But this Cadet defense is really showing their true colors. That first drive kind of got away from them a little too quick, but I think they're really starting to settle in, and this could be the pace that we see for the rest of this ballgame.
As Ploszczyk's going to line up for the punt. And it's going to be a fair catch at the 39-yard line, maybe the 40, and the Cadets are looking to take and extend their lead to 21-7 on this drive.
It is a punt of 36 yards. Christian Brothers College will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, Hounds defense, like we said, they're really starting to show a little momentum, starting to show a little bit improvement over those first 2 drives. This is the real test. Can you keep yourself in the game early, or are you going to let it slip away and rely on your offense, who's been a little bit lackluster so far? Are you going to trust them to try to keep pace, or can you just take it into your own hands?
And you're really looking for, is this Cadets team going to let this game get into their head, or are they going to step up? As 2 receivers to the left, and it's going to be handoff up the middle for Stewart. Stewart's going to try and break away, but gets swung down, and it's going to be an 8-yard gain.
You know, the biggest issue I'm seeing so far for this Hounds defense is that Cadet running backs are getting way too much yardage before they're even touched.
As Kobe Keel is going to be the new quarterback in the game, as Cole McKee has been taken out. Unknown reason to why he's been taken out, as Keel is going to take it. Play action fake over to McKillen. McKillen is going to break away. 3 tackles and try and get upfield, as he's able to run around the entire Greyhounds defense. Breaks away another tackle. Has open field, a blocker, and he's able to get all the way to the end zone. McKeel, his 2nd touchdown of the game, able to spin around everyone and break. It looks like, felt like the entire team. He broke away from every single Greyhound out there.
Yeah, like you said, that play is going to be playing through the nightmares of every single Greyhound tonight, no matter the outcome of this game. Yeah, McClellan pretty much just tore up the entire Hounds defense, broke every tackle that was given to him, and it looks like we have an injury on the field.
Injured player on the field. Could not tell who it is. Could not really see what happened on the play either. As the medical staff for Carmel is going to check him out.
Yeah, still cannot tell who that is right now. Jersey number's facing away from us up here in the booth.
It's hard to tell. The Greyhounds did have 2 injuries last game. They had Uchenna Ojoa, who was, and that's actually who that is.
That is huge down there.
That is.
Appears to get up on his own, a little shaken up.
As he'll
be helped off the field.
He's able to walk. Not with
No,
ease.
he's on his
feet. He's
on his own. He's walking
There
on
you
his
go.
own. Holding his hip, looks like.
That would be a big impact to the defense if he goes out of this game.
That's a big boy down there. I don't know if you've
There
ever met him
is.
personally, but he is a big guy.
He is 6'6", 210, and just a junior. And that is one big guy to lose on that defensive line, as he's able to really wrap around offensive tackles and get to the quarterback any chance he gets. But he's going to be sent to the medical tent to be checked out by the trainers. And that's a big loss for the Greyhounds.
Well, he's walking on his own, so we'll see how they assess him. We'll see if he can get back into this game. Still very early.
It is. As Keel's going to be the quarterback once again for the Cadets. Wasn't shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. And the touchdown is actually going to be taken off as Stewart is going to be ran up the middle and be pushed by his offensive lineman to be able to gain. Looks like just about 8 yards on that play, as it's going to be 2nd and 2.
Stop by 68, Antonio Sosa for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Hounds kind of got tore up on that apparent touchdown, but now here's an opportunity to kind of right that wrong and try. And when they bring it back, we'll see what they can do with a second opportunity.
Second opportunity, 2nd and 3rd. The Stewart is going to be handed the ball once again. Cuts out to his left. Has blockers in open space as he's able to score, but a flag is going to be on the play as that one might be called back.
You ever seen a 3-touchdown drive?
You know, that might be the first time. 7-14, as it feels like the score should be 7-28, as the Cadets have had 2 touchdowns called back. We saw an amazing play by Jeremiah McLennan as he was able to dodge and really weave in and out of every single defender from Carmel and score, but that one was called back, as this one is going to be a holding call, so a 10-yard back, so it's going to be 2nd and 12 then.
Yeah, you said he broke every tackle, but he had a little bit of help. So
his blockers, the pocket, for any quarterback that's been thrown out there, we've seen 2 tonight, and McKee and now Neal, they have had a great pocket to throw. As once again, the ball is going to be sent over to Stewart as he was able to, looks like, just gain a few yards. And don't know if the holding call was in place or not. It may have been.
It was 2nd and 1 going into that.
2nd and 1.
Yeah.
I might have just been lost on that.
The flag was thrown.
It might have been picked up.
And there's a flag.
Yeah.
There is a penalty marker on the play.
Waiting for the call. Looks like a false start
Full start against the Cadets.
on the Cadets.
5-yard penalty.
So a little bit of a reliever there for the Greyhounds, as it's going to push the Cadets back. And they might be able to score, as they have their star Ohio State commit. We have not seen him been matched up against Christian Peterson much, but he is matched up, as Peterson is going to look to him as a wide open receiver for Neal, and he's going to get a look decked out there, out of bounds, as he took 1 up high and 1 down low.
Yeah, 3 Carmel defenders all just kind of took him out, but he was way too wide open there and gained a pretty good amount of yardage, bringing up 2nd and 1.
As that was Jaden Billups, who the sophomore standing at 6'1", took 1 up high and 1 down low. Hunter Snow is credited with that tackle, as the Cadets are going to go in Wildcat with McKillen. He's going to bobble the snap, but run it into the end zone, so that's going to be his 2nd touchdown of the night. So a 3-touchdown drive, it felt like. 2 of those were called back, but every time the Cadets have been on the field, they have scored.
Yeah, no flag on that one, and Christian Brothers is really starting to take advantage of this game. 2-score lead now, and we'll see how Carmel can answer, because it's really starting to slip away. Still super early. So much time for Carmel, but we've been pushing momentum the entire ball game, and the momentum's really going in that Cadet way.
And the main reason these 2 teams are what it feels like allowed to play against each other is Carmel did leave the MIC, the conference that they've been a part of for plenty of years. They left the MIC, and that gave them the opportunity to play a lot of schools out of state.
Yeah.
And we see this week they're playing Christian Brothers. Next week they're playing King, and I believe they're out of Detroit.
They're from Detroit, yes.
Yes, and then they are going down to Kentucky
Trinity
to play their rivals, the Trinity Shamrocks. So Greyhounds are really facing up against what it feels like really strong teams out of state.
Well, Carmel has a level of prestige in the nation of high school football. And so while this team this year may not live up to what Hounds teams before have been, teams around the country still want to come to Carmel. They still want to play this blue and gold team.
Like you said, these teams want to play this Carmel team. Carmel's defense and offense, they need to step up both. A 7-21 lead for the Christian Brothers Cadets, the team out of Missouri, number 2 ranked team in the state of Missouri, 2 back-to-back championships, state champions in 6A football, going up against the Carmel Greyhounds, who last year were knocked out of the sectional round by their crosstown rivals, the Westfield Shamrocks, and a 9-28 victory for the Shamrocks. As Cadets are going to line up to send this one, we've had 2 touchbacks.
Just under 2 to play here in the first quarter. High-scoring first quarter here in week 2.
Cadets line up to kick this one. That one's going straight over to Peterson. Has a chance to return. He's going to elect to, as he's going to try and get this one past the 10 and gets taken down at the 20. If he let that one just bounce into the end zone, that's where it would have ended. So, it felt like he may have gotten a little bit of a jog in, loosen up the muscles.
It's fun to run sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
not for us, but for them.
No. I mean, I love running, Here and there, I like to go out some jogs. Love the cross-country team. The cross-country team here at Carmel just won state last year.
They're real good.
They are real good this year, number 1 runner in the state. So it's going to be great to see how they end up this season. As the Greyhounds are back on offense with Johnson in the backfield and 1 receiver to the right. As Coyer is under center, takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson has an opening and is able to gain what it feels like maybe 2 or 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, well, like we said, home opener for the Hounds. Very packed student section tonight. Would love to see them have a little more energy, and that's kind of the job of this Carmel offense tonight. Great first drive, kind of lacking sense.
7-21 lead. High scoring first quarter, like we said a few times tonight. This is where Carmel needs to kind of find that extra motor. You need to find it now. Most of the time you find it late in games. You're down 2 scores. You need to find that extra motor if you have one, and you need to find it as early as possible. As Coyer is going to get the snap and hands it on to Johnson as he was swallowed up quickly by what it feels like Lance Walker is able to just really loop around the offensive lineman and break into that backfield as quickly as possible.
Yeah, like you were saying, finding that extra motor where most times you find that late in games, but this is not a common opponent for Carmel. This is a very great school, very great football team, and you're going to have to just keep punching the entire time. Otherwise, you're going to run out of steam way too early.
You do not want to be knocked out early in this game with the clock just dipping under a minute. With 35 seconds left to go, the Greyhounds looking to possibly get off one more play before they go into the second quarter. As Coyer is going to look to pass. Pocket looks clean as Pollard cannot hold on to the ball as that one's off his fingers, and he took a tackle right into the ribs. Hopefully he is okay as he looks shaken up after that one.
Yeah, Pollard reaching for his right knee. Oh, and he just catching his breath.
As he is down, he had a helmet go right into his ribs.
Yeah.
That is not a good feeling at all to have, as the force just coming from...
It'll shake you up everywhere.
It will. That is one big guy to go down. And this is the second player for the Greyhounds to go down.
And 2 big guys, too.
2 big guys. And you're really hoping that they are okay with one on defense and now Ozzie Pollard on offense. The Greyhounds are really looking more for what it feels like their depth chart to step up.
Yeah, in a game like this, you really kind of got to look for that next guy up because you don't have not too much hope at this point. Very early still. Want to stress that. But why not experiment? Why not see who can be that next guy, who can kind of push it a little bit, who can show some excitement and some energy? Because that's really what that's what this Hounds team needs right now.
They need that energy as Pollard is able to walk up. He may have just gotten the wind blown out of him there, and he just needs a chance to catch his breath, walk off, and that's one big guy to lose if you do lose him. As Polostrak's going to line up for the punt here. 24 seconds left to go in the first quarter. High-scoring first quarter Greyhounds only able to score on one drive as the Cadets have been able to score, as that's a high punt, a little bit of a floater. And it's going to be, Pingle is going to be able to get that one and get wrapped up at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, a bit of a can of corn punt by the Sound special team, and the Cadets have great field position here, just really trying to tack on and see how much can they get early in this game without letting it get too out of hand.
As the Cadets are going to be running out to the field, we've seen a quarterback change and Cole McKee not coming in, and we see Kobe Keel being the starting quarterback now, not really listed on their roster as a quarterback, as a wide receiver mostly. So he's kind of just out there to get a few snaps in, as it's going to be a handoff to Stewart, and he's going to be swallowed up quickly, but a flag is going to be on the play, and the ball came out, but the referee is going to be calling it short, as no one, I believe Stewart was already down, and he looks shaken up too, limping off the field, and that's his right ankle as he falls down.
Stewart is down on the field, but like you said, that ball was out way too late after contact to the ground. There's no chance that was a fumble.
As I believe the flag may have been on the Cadets, but Stewart, he's been a big impact player for the Cadets, and him going down, they're going to be looking more towards their other running backs, and Alex Morris, or maybe even Jude Pingle, who's been called back there a few times, as it looks like his right lower body has been shaken up a little bit, and the trainers for the Cadets are working out on him right now.
Yeah, I really hate to see this many players down on the field this early in the game and this early in the season. And you can almost expect it in a colder temperature later in the season, but at this point, there is no reason why this many guys should be this shaken up.
And it may be due to the heat. You can be cramping up a little bit. We saw Sam Barani just last week against the Homestead Spartans for the Carmel Greyhounds. He had a bunch of cramps when I spoke to him when he went down late in that game. He was not feeling the best, and he had to get called out a little bit just to kind of get some water because of the immense heat that's been happening in the state of Indiana.
You staying hydrated up here, Casey?
I have been. You've been seeing me drink my water.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through this is my second water bottle. I might be going through, let's see, if I can get through 2 water bottles a quarter.
Yeah.
I might be at 8 by the end of this game.
Hydration's key.
Hydration is key. I do have a cross-country meet tomorrow. So we'll see how this goes, as the trainers are still working out on Stewart, and they are going to be calling the end of the first quarter with only 7 seconds left on the clock. That seems fair to call it right there.
Yeah, it's interesting. We said last play of the quarter probably 3 or 4 times just because there was that many stoppages and that many injuries and whistleblowing.
And injuries, nothing good to see.
Never.
I would say being in sports and getting injured might be the worst feeling that you have, because it feels like you can't make an impact for the team.
You feel no sense of productivity for the rest of that game. You have to sit and watch while everybody else competes, and you think to yourself, I wish I could be doing that, or I could be making a difference, and you just have to not be there.
And one player from last year's Greyhound squad who kind of felt that way may have been Desmond Duffy, as he was projected to have an amazing season, and he had just, I believe it was an ACL tear, and was out for the rest of the season and couldn't really make that impact. But when he was in the game, the speed that he allowed the Greyhounds really have was a massive impact for them.
Yeah, so many of these guys, this is the highest level of football they will play, and it just really stinks to see them kind of lose that when it comes to injury.
You're right, the highest level of football here, but if you can get this opportunity, with most likely scouts being here because of the Christian Brothers Cadets and this Carmel Greyhounds team, both really highly awarded teams in their respective states, there could be a few scouts here as Cadets are going to line up. Kobe Keel, the sophomore, is going to be the quarterback for the Cadets as he's going to take the snap, looks to his left, zips it over to his wide receiver, Corey Sims, and he's going to be swallowed up by, seems like the entire Greyhounds defense ran over to try and tackle him. That just shows you how strong he is if he had to be taken down by 6 Greyhounds.
Yeah, this entire Cadets team, pretty much pound for pound, beats out this Carmel squad.
As with the second quarter still on their way, quick run by the Cadets as that one's going to just gain 3 yards. 7-21 lead, 11:48 left in the second quarter.
Tackle by 68, Antonio Sosa. Gain of 3 on the play.
Yeah, well, Cadets had that 10-yard penalty early in this possession. As 3rd and 7 comes up, Keel takes the snap. He lets it go. Wide open is his receiver. He gets first down and a little bit extra. Finally taken out of bounds by 3 Hounds. And that was Williams with the reception. First down Cadets, they really just are moving the ball as they please. And they're already in Hounds territory.
As the Cadets already in Hounds territory, looking to knock on the door once again, a 7-21 lead for them. As Keel is going to try and get the Greyhounds to jump as he's going to do a fake snap. 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. Sims and McCullen to his left. He's going to be looking over to Sims as Sims is going to take it and get swallowed up, but breaks the tackle by Hunter Snow and takes it upfield as he's able to break away, has 1 to beat, and Randolph is able, Christian Peterson is able to wrap him up down at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, big-time small play by Peterson. He's really sort of this heartbeat of this Hounds defense with that pick last week. So keeping the Cadets out of the end zone at that play was major and hopefully setting the tone for the rest of this drive.
And the big difference in tackling these big receivers is you have to go low. You cannot ever tackle high, as Neil's going to take it himself in Wildcat. A little bit of quarterback draw, and he's going to be in the end zone.
That's ridiculous.
7-27 lead for the Christian Brother Cadets as they're going to be lining up for this extra point here. This team, it feels like a wrecking ball. They are really just kind of rolling in and getting anything they want to go.
Yeah, Keel has so much confidence at that quarterback position right now. He really just took it in because he felt like it. And that's how this team is scoring against the Hounds right now.
And this Cadets team, it feels like they can do anything they want out on the field. Feels like they can run, they can pass, they can catch the ball. We saw an amazing catch by Jeremiah McCullen, the Ohio State commit, over, as that's a high snap, and that's going to be a bobble kick. No good. As it's now, this is where the momentum shifts, Noah.
This is one of the first productive things for Carmel in a while.
This is where snap, and that's going to be a bobble kick. Section, you need the Carmel fans, you need the entire team to be like. Now this is where the momentum shifts, Noah.
This is one of the first productive things for Carmel. It is a packed house here tonight, but it sure does not feel like it. Not a whole lot of sound coming, not a whole lot of noise or energy.
You know, you and I might need to be down there. We might need to kind of hype up this crowd.
Yeah.
But I feel like it can be trusted down to the boys who are down there right now. The cheerleaders are trying to motivate everyone down there. This team for the Greyhounds need to motivate their players as the head coach, John Hebert, is cheering on his boys. He knows this is the chance for them to bounce back. A 7-27 lead as the Greyhounds are going to run out there to receive this kickoff.
Yeah, I really think if the Hounds can just kind of have one more touchdown than the Cadets do the rest of this quarter, they can really have that momentum shift, only being down 2 possessions at halftime.
As the Cadets are going to line up for, feels like the Greyhounds, this might be their fifth drive.
I believe it's fifth.
Fifth drive. As the Cadets line up. Kickoff over towards Norval Tucker as he's going to receive this one at the 3. Gets past the 10, has a seam, and he's able to get swallowed up down at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, productive kickoff return for the Hounds. Really just trying to set the mood here for this possession, see what they can do, see if they can tack on. Just trying to make it a little bit more of a competitive ball game.
Greyhounds are looking to make a competitive ball game. We've not seen a lot of passing plays out of them throughout this game. 5 passes and a lot of pound and run the ball. Try and run it up the middle. Get your offensive line to open some seams. And this Greyhounds offensive line might be one of the biggest and strongest that they've had in recent years. As Colner is going to be in shotgun, takes the snap. Play action passes. That one's going to be tipped up into the air. and it's just going to be an incompletion, as it felt like almost the entire linebacking core was able to get into the backfield.
We talk about a great offensive line, but they're doing next to nothing against this Cadet defensive unit tonight.
As the Greyhounds need to rely more on their key players. They need to look for their playmakers. You need to give the ball to Norval Tucker. He broke off for an 18-yard run, and he had that fumble, but he's going to be able, it's going to be a pitch play, chased down by Abram, and that's going to be a horse call. Lance Walker is going to have the flag on him, as Tucker, that was a scary, as it felt like he bent his entire back on that one.
Yeah, that was not needed by that Cadet defense. It was honestly a sure tackle anyway, and they just kind of ripped him over, and big penalty here for the Cadets.
But that gives the Greyhounds a first down. 15-yard penalty, first down. This is where they need to pick it up. They need to find that extra motor if they haven't found it already. You had a wobbly snap by the Cadets, which led to not scoring that extra point. So you're only down 20 points for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, as good as this Christian Brothers team is, the key to beating them is just really finding those small things they do wrong, because there aren't a whole lot.
There's not a whole lot. The Greyhounds' offensive line feels like it's getting torn to pieces now. They're allowing defensive linemen and linebackers to just get back there and kind of swallow up anyone that they can. As Coyer is going to take it, hand it over to Knudsen. He's going to be swallowed, high tackle there, and holds onto the ball, as that's going to be a loss of 2.
Yeah, run game is not working effectively this drive for Carmel. But at the same time, there hasn't been a whole lot of strong receiving or even strong passing, so we'll see what they go to in the playbook here.
I feel like the Greyhounds need to try and pass the ball more. We have not seen a lot of passes, a few passes to Ozzie Pollard, but
flag on the play.
Could it be too many men on the field? And it looks like it might be.
Yeah.
I believe it might have been 12 men on the field or something like that.
Yeah, we don't get mics from the refs like they do in the bigs, do we?
We do not. I kind of wish we could mic up a ref, kind of understand what they're doing. As Coyer is going to have 2 is left and 1 down at the bottom of his screen. Motion Battelle, as it's going to be a handoff up the middle to Tucker. Tucker's going to try and break away, as he's going to be able to get 7 there.
Yeah, Hounds almost back to their original line of scrimmage here. Still going to that run game. Have yet to see them pass at this possession.
And did you see what Ozzie Pollard just did out there?
I did.
That is one strong guy.
That's big time.
He took that guy all the way to the 50-yard line and kind of pancaked him. He gave it back to the Cadets after, I believe it may have been Lance Walker who hit him in the ribs earlier, and it feels like he may have gotten a little bit of revenge there and threw him down, but that could be a highlight for him. This corner is going to be in shotgun once again. Play action pass, is able to break through that and tries to truck almost the entire Cadets defense, but that's going to be a 1-yard gain for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Coyer not an overly mobile quarterback, so every single time that pocket collapses, he is just he can run a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of mobile running or mobile passing.
It looks like he may be a little shooken up. That left wrist took a beating, as he's talking to Hebert right now, the head coach for the Greyhounds, as the Greyhounds might be looking towards their backup quarterback, Zach Trent, the junior, to come in if that does not go well, as Blaszczak gets a great punt, sends that one to the opposite side of the field. Hunter Snow is able to track him down and gets the tackle first.
Well, and you figure depending on how big this Cadets lead becomes, you might even just put Trent in for the heck of it, just see what he can do, if he can mix it up, if he can change the rhythm of this offense a little bit differently.
And Zach Trent's brother, Ethan Trent, an offensive lineman just a year ago, one of the top offensive linemen in the state of Indiana. And Zach Trent, if he is put into the game, we know that he has football in his blood. He has the knowledge and knows what to do in certain situations since he's been on this team and been exposed to the Carmel Greyhounds for what it feels like 7 years now since his brother just played. So he has all that information from his brother and more for himself.
Trent yet to see a snap this year, but he has more experience than Colner does, so we'll see possibly if he can get some time in this one.
As Cole McKee is going to come back into the game, and Jeremiah McLennan is able to break away from 2 tackles. It feels like he might have 100 broken tackles this game already.
I dare say he has broken a tackle from every single Hounds defender so far.
He may have even broken tackles from guys on the sideline. That's how many broken tackles
he has broken the ankles of every single man on that field.
As McKee is going to be the quarterback. Fakes, pump fakes, sends that one down the field over to Sims. Sims is going to be able to get that one in, but it might be pass interference on the Greyhounds.
Yeah, getting a little bit tangled up. You'd be interested to see who this pass interference actually is on, because they sort of just collided and ended up being the offense that came away with it.
As it looks like Jabril Randolph, who had that Randy Moss catch over him by Jeremiah McLennan in the first quarter, and allowing another catch there to happen by Corey Sims, is going to be taken off now, as tonight just has not been his night.
No, it has not, and this defense has really taken a beating so far, not even halftime. So we'll see how they can adjust and how they can kind of plug in the right pieces to match up with this cadet squad.
As McKee is going to have 2 receivers to his right and 1 running back in the backfield. Morris is going to be in the backfield with McKee. Shotgun. Sends Sims over. It's going to be a handoff to Morris. Morris's helmet looks like did not come off, but
somebody lost theirs. There it is.
It's going to be Brandon McCluster. Excuse me, Bryce
Parson lost the helmet there. But he's got it back. We're good.
He's going to have to come off for a play, try and get that tightened back up, and then come on the next play. So the clock is going to continue to run, dipping under 7:30 left to play in the second quarter. 7-27 is the lead for the Christian Brothers Cadets. 2 running backs in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff up the middle from McKee, and he's going to be swallowed up early. First person to get to him is going to be Uchenyu Ojota. Now the Greyhounds on 3rd down, 3rd and 6 for the Cadets. The Greyhounds have not been able to stop them one time yet.
Yeah, this is a big play here for Carmel. If they can just get a stop here, it's a little bit out of the range of the foot of the Cadets, and so we'll see if they can kind of switch that momentum, get it back to Carmel, maybe score again before halftime comes around.
As McKee has 2 to his right and 1 to his left, and Morris is able to run up the middle but get swallowed up, as the Greyhounds may have been able to finally force a 4th and 5.
Yep, there it is. That'll be about a 50-yard field goal if they try it. It looks might even be 4th down territory.
I don't think they are even going to attempt the kick. They might be going down. They might be going for it.
Yeah, with the caliber of this offense, why not?
And this is, like we said, the extra engine, the extra motor has been found. The defense, you were talking a lot about it earlier. This is the best part of the team.
This could be the spark for the defense right here as a stop on 4th down.
McKee drops back, and he misses the sack Artie Bryant does. McKee is going to be forced out of bounds, and it's going to be incomplete as the Greyhounds get a stop on 4th down, and the ball is going to be turned over. The offense for the Greyhounds is going to come out, and this is the momentum shifter right now for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Hounds just over 5 minutes left in the half. They have an opportunity now. This is their chance to cut it to just a 2-score lead, get in that locker room, regroup, and we'll see what they can do in the second half.
They have just under 6 minutes to make an impact on their offense. We've only seen them have 1 wobbly pass from Colner, as he was able to get that one down the field to Battelle, and Battelle was able to run that one in. But this is where the Greyhounds need to find the impact players, your playmakers. Find your Battelle, find your Tucker. You need to implement a way to get down the field and get down the field fast.
Hounds set to take over. Zach Trent in the middle of that huddle. Does not appear that he'll be coming into this game quite yet.
As Colner is going to be stuck out there for the Greyhounds. Still, the quarterback was shaken up slightly with that left wrist on the last drive. but the Greyhounds defense able to pick up the slack of the offense and get a stop on 4th down.
Greyhounds will take over 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line.
As the Greyhounds jog out, Mace and Battelle are going to be the ones at the bottom of your screen. Pollard is going to be at the top of your screen. Corner looks to be possibly getting under center with Johnson in the backfield. Pollard is going to be motioned to come right. Corner is going to have a quick handoff to Johnson. Johnson's going to cut up field and be able to get tackled. Looks like a gain of 4 for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, we know this running back unit's able to chip away, and we'll see if they can continue to chip, but I would love to see how we can use the arm of Colner, try to stretch it out, get some yardage out of the air.
And the Greyhounds are going to take this at their own pace. If they can flip the script here and go at their own pace and not allow the Cadets to really have quick defense, their defense has been rested. Their defense has been up to full energy, and it looks to be the Greyhounds may be running the same play, same formation, just shotgun, as it's going to be a handoff to Johnson. Johnson is going to break away, and he's going to get the 1st down for the Greyhounds.
Big run for Johnson. Like we were saying earlier, if the Hounds can just eat up the rest of this half, score with just barely no time left, that can be a massive momentum shift, trying to keep this Cadets offense off the field.
7-27. Clock just dipped under 5 minutes. Greyhounds finally getting one of their first downs of the game. It feels like they may have only had 3 in total, including this one. Greyhounds, this is their 6th drive of the game. 7-27. With 2 receivers down to the right of Corner, 1 up at top, and Knudsen in the backfield. Corner takes the snap, play action fake, and is going to get swallowed up by the Cadets. First person there, I want to say, is the strong man of Mark Lumpkin. And that the 3rd sack. 3rd sack for the Cadets. This Greyhounds offensive line needs to step up. They cannot allow any gaps to happen and not allow what it feels like 5 men are rushing, and you're dropping the rest of your guys in coverage. So you have 5 guys rushing. Possibly the middle linebacker could come in as well. So this is the chance for the Greyhounds to use that to the advantage. If they are able to possibly get it out, as Colner is going to do a pitch play to Johnson. Make some space as he's going to find close to it. And that's going to be, well, I want to say, a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, Johnson brought it just up to that original line of scrimmage, and the Hounds got a 3rd and 10 upon him. Just really still trying to chip away. That run game is way stronger than the arm of Colner so far.
As you can kind of see some of the Cadets players, it looks like they could be a little gassed as we're seeing some of them on their knees. Lance Walker looks a little tired out there. The Greyhounds need to use that to their advantage as he's been able to fly sideline to sideline here. Corner in shotgun. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Tucker in the backfield. Corner takes the snap. Rolls to his left. Zips it down the field, and that one's going to be out of bounds to Pollard. Really relying on Pollard to get down the field and look to him to make an impact.
Yeah, Pollard's really a household name for this Carmel offense, but he has not stepped up in the way they want to. I don't think he's gotten the opportunities. I think that most of his receptions have been way out of reach. But again, he's not quite getting the yardage that they expect from him.
And it's going to be a 4th and 10 now. 7-27, clock dipping under 3 minutes, 2:53 left to play. Plaszczak is going to be ready for the punt with Sims to receive it. Plaszczak gets the punt, sends that one down the field, over to Sims, and he takes that and fumbles it. This is a chance for the Greyhounds to jump on it. And he's going to be swallowed up down at the 1-yard line. Greyhounds able to take that mistake by Sims and get the Cadets pinned at the 1-yard line.
Massive opportunity here for the defense. Here's their opportunity. Just under 3 minutes left. Can they push the Cadets all the way back or even just force a punt and get excellent field position for just a little bit of time left? All 3 timeouts still remaining for Carmel. We'll see what they can do.
And do not let this field position get into the head of the Carmel Greyhounds.
No.
This is a 99-yard drive for the Cadets if they can make it happen. You need to rely on your top players in Jeremiah McClennan. You need to rely on Nicole McKee. You need to rely on Jared Stewart, who has scored 2 touchdowns for you in this game. The Cadets cannot let this field position get into their head as they are looking possibly to run the ball and try and run up the gut. As McKee takes the snap, hands it over to Stewart. He finds a gap and takes it, breaks Christian Peterson's ankles, and gets down to the 21-yard line.
Well, in one play, this Cadet offense wipes away the excellent punt and misfortune by the special teams, and they are right back at their own 25-yard line.
A 21-yard run by Stewart sets up a 1st and 10.
But a false start by the Cadet offense, and we'll bring it all the way back.
We have seen immense luck for the Greyhounds. We saw what it felt like the 3-touchdown drive. 2 of those were called back, but the Cadets still ended up with a touchdown and a false start, which called back a 20-yard run. So this is more of the...
Usually the luckiest team isn't down 27-7, but we'll see what Carmel can do with this second opportunity.
You're right. And McKee is in at the quarterback position with 2 running backs to his right and left. Motions over his big 3-star tight end as the Greyhounds are able to swallow up Stewart, and it looks like the ball came out, and Carmel might have the ball here. As the ball is given over to the Greyhounds defense steps up when it is needed and recovers the ball at the 5-yard line. Sam Barani was the first person to get that recovery. He has stepped up at the time that is needed.
This is what we knew the Hounds defense could do going into the season. The ceiling was so high for the defense, and they are stepping up in this opportunity. A lot of pressure on their back. Pretty imbalanced scoreboard, but just 2.5 minutes left, and they're really giving this offense an opportunity to keep the scoring going.
Ball is going to be placed at the 4-yard line for the Greyhounds. A chance to knock on the door and possibly walk into halftime with a 14-27. It's been immense play out of the defense. They might be looking to Pollard as it's going to be I formation. Hands it over to Knudsen, and he's going to be swallowed up at the 5-yard line, so a loss of 1 for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, I think they're going to be looking for Pollard. Big man, get him on a slant, see what he can do, just get him in the end zone. The run game is not strong in this sort of power-to-power circumstance, so we'll see if they can use the arm of Colner and what they can do with that.
I'm thinking they might go 2 right, 1 left for wide receivers.
Yeah.
Really have Pollard as that blocking tight end and possibly have Colner scramble, because we've been able to see him break out of sacks in this game. With only being sacked 3 times, he's been able to at least break out of a few. As they might be looking to do the same play right up the middle. Cadets look easy. As it's going to be a play-action pass, Colner's going to roll out, throws it out of bounds before he gets taken to the ground.
Pollard was targeted, but it was well out of his reach.
Now they might look to do the same thing that they did last weekend against the Homestead Spartans, where they relied on Pollard to just run it up the middle. He was doing a fullback dive and got the first offensive touchdown.
Let the big man eat.
Let the big man eat. And even if they don't get it here, they have another down. This is 4th down territory.
Why not go for it on 4th when you're down by 20 points?
You're right. If you can get momentum going into halftime, this is where you need it now.
And thankfully, using all these downs, they're eating up the clock, and there is just less chance they're going to see a Cadet touchdown before the end of this half.
Mace is to the left of Colner, and it's going to be a timeout called by Hebert. Greyhounds are going to come off the field. Hebert might have saw something that he did not like out from the defense of the Cadets, and the Greyhounds are going to draw up a play here.
3 timeouts, why not use them?
Hey, you got 3 timeouts, you get a fresh 3 going into halftime. If you can use them wisely here, use them well.
Yeah, Hounds will get pretty much 2 opportunities here to put the ball in the end zone. So Hebert's just taking as much time and as much concentrated power as he wants to really get the right play, because this is a pivotal moment in this game.
And we've seen the Cadets defense line up and what it feels like a run commit situation where they are forcing everyone to go up the middle of their gut on the defense, get through those A and B gaps, and really kind of get into the gaps and close off any up-the-gut runs that the Greyhounds may be doing. They're also really able to get on the outside of the offensive tackles, which is a struggle throughout the game by the Greyhounds, as they are not able to really block well throughout this game. With 1:37 left to play in the second quarter, Christian Peterson has come into the huddle. This might be a new switch up. He might be put at the running back position or possibly a wide receiver. Most notably is the kind of the big impact player, as he's going to be out there on the field with Patel. Down at the bottom of your screen, Tucker is going to be in at running back. Pollard is going to be that big blocking tight end, it looks like.
But we know Peterson has the hands to play receiver after his pick last week. We'll see what he can do here.
As Peterson's going to be lined up second on your screen right next to Patel. Pollard is going to be moved over, motioned over, and it's going to be a handoff up to Tucker. Tucker is going to get swallowed up. And this Cadets defense is able to do anything they want if the Greyhounds are trying to run up the field.
Yeah, short field with first and goal coming up. That was not at all what the Hounds wanted. Run plays will not work against this Cadet defense, especially, like I said, in that short field. So 4th and 4, they got to go to the end zone, try to find Pollard, or maybe even
as corner's going to be under center. Johnson in the backfield now. And it's going to be a sweep over to Peterson. Peterson has wide open field, shakes off the defender and reaches for the end zone. And it's going to be a touchdown for the Greyhounds. The Greyhounds are going to be saved by Christian Peterson. And Peterson has wide open field, shakes off the defender and reaches for the end zone. The head coach of the Greyhounds. And it's going to be a touchdown for the Greyhounds. The Greyhounds are going to be saved and able to score a touchdown on defense just last week.
With the defense being the brightest spot of the Carmel team so far, it only makes sense that a defensive player scores a touchdown to get that momentum back in the Hounds' way.
And that is your X-factor player of your team, carrying the Greyhounds on his back, scoring on offense as a defensive player. As that one's going to go up through the uprights, 14-27 lead for the Cadets. The Greyhounds have found the extra motor, looking to go into halftime with no more mistakes.
Well, 1 minute left until the half. Keep in mind, Christian Brothers will get the ball at the start of the second half. So Carmel's going to really need to keep that defensive engine running.
And they need to make sure the Christian Brothers College Cadets do not get anywhere into field goal range here or possibly a touchdown with under a minute left to play in the second quarter. The Greyhounds are looking to really knock on the door and get out of the hole that they have put themselves in. And just in the first quarter, we saw the lead was 7-20. One quarter, the Greyhounds did not allow really only one touchdown.
Right.
And then they come out and get an amazing touchdown by Christian Peterson, reaching for the pylon and getting in.
Yeah, you almost be surprised if the Cadets really make a huge effort on offense in this possession. Like I said, they're getting the ball in the second half. This Carmel defense is fuming, so I'd be surprised if they even think too much about scoring here.
And this is a game to watch, like we've said, as Plazchek is going to line up for the kick. Clock dipped under a minute left to play. 14-27, 53-2 left to play before going into halftime. Plazchek lines up to send this one to Sims. And it is off, as that one is going to be a touchback. And the Cadets are going to be taking the ball at the 20-yard line.
Well, you know, the sun's starting to set here. Shadows are taking over and the temperature's dropping. It's going to make a major difference for the rest of this game. Really hot first half. Second half will cool down and these players will get a little more comfortable, a little more loose, and we'll see what they can do. As 1st and 10 from their own 20 will be coming up for the Cadets. As the Hound student section gets a little more into it. Pretty much first sign of life we've seen from them tonight.
As the defense here needs to use that energy from the student section, they have made an impact, as this might have been the best student section in recent years. Last year was not the best. This year has stepped up.
It is packed.
It is packed. As it's going to be a quick pass over to the strong tight end, as he was hit hard by Dom Shockley, able to really give it to him quickly there.
Yeah, Drew Cannon, excellent tackle there.
As it's going to be a run up the gut for the Cadets to get the first down. Clock now under 30 seconds, 27-7 left to play in the second quarter.
Clock continues to tick here.
Cadets are taking the snap quickly. Everyone is down the field. Greyhounds need to find a way to get to McKee, as that one's going to be just sent over. And Christian Peterson able to track that one down and breaks that pass up over the four-star recruit, Jeremiah McLennan, to the Ohio State. That is the best player out on the field versus the best player.
That is the best matchup we will probably see this season, right there.
It is. You're going to be seeing an IU commit in Christian Peterson going up against the Ohio State University commit.
Future Big Ten opponents right before our very eyes.
As McKee's just going to hand it off to Stewart as he's going to try and do a quick cut as the clock is going to dip under 10 seconds now, 14:27, as it's going to now be 2nd and 10. Both teams are going to their respective sides in to the halftime. 14-27. Noah, great game so far on our hands.
Yeah, a lot more scoring than we saw last week in week 1 for the Hounds. Hounds are really just trying to keep the scoring going, try to get momentum. It wasn't quite the start they wanted as we send it down to halftime with GiGi and Dashaun.
Welcome back, Carmel fans, to Carmel Stadium. We are at halftime of a very exciting game. The Christian Brothers Cadets versus the Carmel Greyhounds. Cadets currently leading the Greyhounds 27-14. Dashaun, what have we seen tonight from the Cadets?
The Christian Brothers had a nearly perfect half, except I would say for 2 costly mistakes. Those mistakes was the coverage error on the first touchdown, which gave Carmel a lot of confidence, and then that botched punt return, which allowed Carmel to stop them at the 1-yard line. These 2 just small mistakes resulted in 2 Carmel touchdowns, which is allowing them to keep this a close game. However, they've been doing their thing on offense. 27 points in the first half. They were moving the ball fluidly. McLennan and Corey Sims have been doing their thing, taking advantage of mismatches, just whatever they can do offensively. Just as we expected, a very dynamic, open offense that can adapt to whatever Carmel sends at them. What do you think Carmel did well, and what do you think they can improve on?
Well, Dashaun, Carmel opened with a touchdown from Ayal Belite. Sorry if I butchered that name. He had a touchdown within the first 4 minutes of the game. It was absolutely electric in the Carmel student section. I was there at the time. And another unfortunate thing that happened for the Carmel team was we witnessed one of our star offensive linebackers, Uchenni Ojada, go down with what looked to be an unfortunate ACL injury about midway through the first quarter. But he is out of the tent and on the Greyhound sideline, so he looks to be doing a lot better. And Carmel did get another touchdown right before the end of the half by yours truly, Christian Peterson. Definitely been a very valuable player this game. And additionally, Carmel's stop of the ball at the Christian Brothers 1-yard line led to us getting a fumble. Sam Barani recovered it, and almost immediately, that was run in for a touchdown by Christian Peterson. So Carmel has done an excellent job running the ball. Anthony Coulter has done about the same with his passing as he did last game. I'm looking to see some more passing from him in the second half.
Great points, GiGi, and I believe that's going to wrap up our halftime show. We'll now send it back up. I should have sent it back up to Casey.
The opening production of this season's competitive program titled Prophecy. The 6-time Bands of America Grand National Champion Marching Greyhounds will begin their competition season on Saturday, September 9th, when they participate in the Brownsburg Invitational. And now, under the Jake Johnson, Devin Sapper, and Prashay Sawale, please welcome the 2023 Carmel Marching Greyhounds.
And welcome back to CHTV. As for the first half highlights, the Carmel Greyhounds with a 1-0 record are taking on the Christian Brothers Cadets. I'm Casey Stevens. Still alongside me is my good friend Noah Boudouris.
Oh, of course. And you can see, looking at this comparison of stats so far, very lopsided, very seesaw tonight. Christian Brothers 277 yards compared to just the 95 Hounds yards. 8 first downs, doubling the 4 Hounds first downs. And of course the 4 touchdowns to just 2. It's been very lopsided, but there's still potential. There's still a lot of room for the Hounds to come back and make it interesting.
And like you said, a lot of room. But the Cadets are going to be starting with the ball in the second half as they deferred and gave the ball to the Greyhounds. And on the first drive, the Greyhounds were able to take it all the way downfield. Great pass from Coyer over to Patel, and he was able to take that one to the house. The Greyhounds then finished off the quarter with what we thought couldn't have been a touchdown. 4th and 4, gave it to their cornerback. They pulled him from defense and put him on offense, Christian Peterson, and he got a jet sweep into the end zone.
Yeah, Peterson so far playing MVP for this Hound squad between the first 2 weeks. Touchdown in week 1 via the interception. Touchdown week 2 on offense. Really just trying to do as much as he can for this team because there's not a whole lot else going on.
And we've seen the Cadets have stepped up. They are living up to being that number 2 team in the state of Missouri. They have come out, scored 4 touchdowns, but that momentum shifter of that fumbled snap, that bobbled snap, and really just a bad kick by the kicker after they scored their 4th touchdown gave the Greyhounds the momentum.
Yeah, still a lot of game to be played. We talked in the first half as if it was over early on. First quarter felt like it was way out of reach, but as the Hounds started to chip away, it feels like it's a way closer ball game than maybe even just the 13-point difference.
And if you really think about it, 13 points, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, and to get you 2 extra points, you're winning the game.
Well, and that's just 2 defensive stops as well. The Hounds just need to make 2 defensive stops to keep themselves in the game.
And so far we've seen them have 1 where they stopped the Cadets Cadets were in Greyhound territory at the 35-yard line, and we saw an amazing breakup by the sophomore Drew Cannon, who was able to get his hand into the passing lane, break it up, and it allowed the Greyhounds to really flip the script and get a touchdown after that. And going into this game, Noah, we said the heat was going to be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
You and I, wearing suits up here, but we're kind of sweating a little bit.
We're sweating a good amount. I can hardly imagine what they're going through down on the field. Thankfully, the sun is starting to set. There are no shadows left on the field. Everything is kind of settled. It's mellowed. So this will be kind of the constant temperature and conditions for the rest of this ball game.
And it is. In the student section for the Greyhounds have been an immense factor here tonight as they've been able to bring just the energy to the crowd and really to the players tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start both for the Hounds team and for the student section, but late in that first half, you really felt both start to come alive, and hopefully they're both going to be really, really happy throughout the rest of this game.
And it looks like the Greyhounds are warming up their backup quarterback, Zach Trent. He's getting a few throws in here down in the track to Tucker and Patel, as this might be a difference changer. Zach Trent coming into the game over Anthony Coyer, that left wrist that we saw him injure earlier in this game, and playing through it, he might have just given out. And Trent is going to need to come in if he is going to come in.
Yeah, and Trent more than capable at quarterback. He's a junior. This will be his first opportunity both of this season and in varsity in general. So we'll see what he can do if and when he's put into the game.
As Blazchek now is going to line up to deliver the first kick here at the start of the second half. Score 14-27. Christian Brothers Cadets have walked in to the Carmel Greyhounds home stadium and taken a 13-point lead, looking to extend it if they can. The Greyhounds defense looking to come onto the field and possibly get another stop. Blazchek lines up for the kick to deliver it off. That one's going to be sent over the head of Corey Sims. He's going to call that one off. The Christian Brothers Cadets are going to be start at the 20-yard line.
Cadets begin the second half, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Well, here's where you set the tone for the second half. This first offensive drive for Carmel. What can they do? What can they show the Cadets they learned in that locker room during this break?
And that's the big thing. If you're able to go into the locker room and really calm down your players. For the Greyhounds coming out they had the momentum. They scored first in the start of the first half, and this is the chance for them to get that stop that they need. They need to lock down on the strong wide receivers and Corey Sims and Jeremiah McClellan that this Cadets team has, as we're going to be seeing a continuing change as Neal is going to be the quarterback once again. As Neal is going to send McClellan over to the left side. He's going to try and take that, runs into his own teammate, and gets thrown to the ground aggressively by the Greyhounds.
Yeah, we continue to just see the greatness of McClellan so far tonight when you need that many guys and that much effort just to push him out of bounds.
As the Cadets line up for their 2nd and 1 play here. High snap, given over to Stewart. Stewart is going to break through the first tackle and get brought down on a 3-yard gain.
Gain of 3 on the play.
As the clock continues to move, 11:25 left to play, as we've seen 94 total rush yards from the Cadets team for a total of 290 yards with almost 200 yards passing, as the Cadets have pretty much been able to keep control of the entire game with just a few hiccups here and there.
Yeah, we noticed the Cadets have almost as much rush yards as the Hounds have yards total. 94 rush yards for Christian Brothers and 95 total yards for Carmel.
As Peterson thought he could jump that route and brings down Jude Pingle, as that's going to be a first down for the Cadets.
Stop by 3, Christian Peterson.
Not the start you wanted for the Hounds, but they are keeping Christian Brothers away from the big play.
And
that's all you.
And I think the Cadets, in coming out of halftime, noticed that Peterson, the strong cornerback, likes to jump routes. If they are able to make him second-guess himself like they just did as they hand it over to Harris, they might be able to make him mess up and open a downfield lane and possibly air it out. As Peterson is going to be credited for that tackle on Harris, and the Cadets are going to continue to move the ball downfield into Greyhound territory, the 48-yard line, and it's going to be a 2nd and 2. Neal is going to be in the backfield. 2 to his right, 1 to his left, hands it off to the strong run game of Jude Pingle, and he's going to be brought down for a first down.
Just enough for a first. The first half moved by very slow, I noticed. A lot of clock stoppage, a lot of scoring, and I'm wondering if we can see maybe a change, if the teams will both start to use their clock more, either the Cadets just trying to eat it up or the Hounds trying to push the tempo and just trying to get in the end zone as soon as they can.
As it's going to be no extra blocking. Play action pass for Neal. He looks to send it downfield as that's a wide open receiver, Corey Sims, and that one's going to be off his hands. He had a touchdown if he was able to hold on to that one.
You do not get more open than that, and it was just a missed opportunity. Kill just could not put the ball in his receiver's hands, and he will be thinking about that one for a while.
Sims was able to break the cover too and really run right in the middle of that. The safeties were not able to track him down and not cover what they were supposed to, as Hunter Snow and Dom Shockley are responsible to be those 2 strong safeties and free safeties for the Greyhounds. Keel's going to line up for a handoff over to Harris, and he's going to be pushed down for maybe a 3-yard gain. So 3 and 7, a 3rd down for the Greyhounds, as they need to find a way to get this stop here and possibly force a punt.
Yeah, this is their first real opportunity of the second half to try to show what they're made of. A lot of easy 2nd and 1s, 1st and 10s by the Cadets, but this 3rd and 7 will really prove who's made of what.
As Neal is going to look for a quick 5-yard out, and it's going to be falling down as he may be short, and the referee is going to say that he is 1 yard short of the first down. So 4th and 1, we saw the Cadets go for it earlier in the first half. They may be looking to possibly do a quarterback sneak and run it, just get that 1 yard and continue to push tempo here, or they may be looking for another pass option play.
Offense is still on the field. I have yet to see Carmel force a negative yardage play for the Cadets.
As Jeremiah McKillen, the Ohio State commit, is in Wildcat, and Bryant is going to try and get through the line as McKillen is just going to beat everyone and takes it to the house. And the first score in the second half is going to be credited to Jeremiah McKillen, his 3rd touchdown of the game to extend the lead to 14-33. Christian Brothers Cadets on top at the home field of the Carmel Greyhounds.
Theme of the game has been momentum. We can't stress that enough. momentum was to the Hounds just for that moment. They had that third down. They made the stop. Fourth down was coming up, and just like that, McClellan took it all, and it is well in the Cadets' hands now.
As the Cadets have been relying on him this entire game, has been the product of their offense, as the Greyhounds are hoping for another high bobbled snap, as this one's low to the ground, but it's going to be up through the upright. So a 14-34 lead for the Cadets. 20 points down are the Greyhounds in their home field, as coming out of the halftime for the Cadets, they drew up every single play, and it worked almost perfectly for them.
The officer on the south home gate has your cell phone. Once again, the officer on the south home side gate has your cell phone.
As the Greyhounds trot out there to receive the kick from the Cadets, they need to put a few strings together here, a few string plays, get down the field, get at least past the 35. I think the 35-yard line needs to be the goal for the rest of the drives here. If they can get past that, that really shifts the momentum. You're in Cadets territory, you're almost in field goal range, and all you need to do is either have a few more plays to get past that, or you at least accomplished one simple goal.
Well, I say if you're Carmel, you got to punch back right now. The goal has to be to score right here and as soon as you can to try to erase you brought all the momentum up through the end of the first half, and the Cadets just tore it down with a 4-minute drive. So we'll see if they can answer back quickly, as that kickoff will go out of bounds, and a lucky break for the Hounds.
As that's the second kickoff that we've seen tonight go out of bounds by the kicker of the Cadets. And that's kind of how the Greyhounds were able to start their first drive. The kick was out of bounds, and Coyer was able to make his wide receivers go up the field with him directing traffic and zip that one to Patel. And Patel was able to get that one into the end zone, which started the Greyhounds off with a 7-0 lead at the beginning of the first quarter. But the Greyhounds need to really find that momentum, pick up the tempo here.
Yeah, we've seen so far most of the positive moments from Carmel has been from the misfortune of the Cadets, either by ignorant penalties or just dropping passes. Most of the positives that we've seen from Carmel has just been because of the negatives of the Cadets.
Carson,
we'll see what they can do with this opportunity of another out-of-bounds kickoff.
And Coyer is going to be in quarterback with Johnson in the backfield. It's going to be a quick snap to Johnson. He's going to try and run it up the gut, and he's going to pick up what it seems to be a 9-yard gain. So it's going to be 2-1 now for the Greyhounds, as Johnson has been more relied on as kind of that go-to running back.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Tucker early on, but after that fumble, it's been a lot of Colin Johnson.
It has been in the heat, maybe getting to the defense of the Cadets, allowing one of the biggest plays to happen at the beginning first drive for the Greyhounds, as Johnson's going to stay in at that running back position. Two receivers to the right, as Ozzie Pollard is going to be motioned to the right. Coyer and shotgun. Gives it to Johnson once again, so the Cadets read that play. It looked like the exact same play that the Greyhounds just ran.
Yeah, the Hounds are not used to playing this smart of a defense, and that's evident through this sort of play calling and this sort of result that we're seeing. With back-to-back identical play calls, one works out great, the next one does not.
And that's the thing. If you have guys on the defense who are able to read plays at a high level, just like this Cadet team can, with 7 of the players out there right now having 2 or 3 stars to their name as commits, you know this team is a high-level defensive team that will be able to read any play that you throw at them. As Coyer is going to be in shotgun once again, and it looks to be a false start on the defense. Excuse me. Neutral zone infraction is what they say in the big leagues.
They flinched.
They did flinch.
You can't flinch, Casey.
Now, Noah, have you ever played football before?
I played 1 year of flag football. I believe I was in 4th grade.
Really?
We were the Broncos. I wore number 18.
I love how you remember that.
Well, yeah. I wanted to be number 18, so yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
What was the kind of like for that number?
Well, you know, at the time we were the Broncos, and Peyton Manning was tearing it up in Denver. So, you ever play football?
I did. I was the center.
Really?
Yeah, big center.
Yeah.
Yeah. As corner is going to be in shotgun in the center tonight is going to be Caden Hustle for the Greyhounds, as he's going to send that snap, and it's going to be a quick snap to Tucker. Tucker was dragged down by 3 cadet players. First one to get there was going to be Anthony Moore, the inside linebacker for the Cadets, as Tucker being relied on. And once again, the running back group for the Greyhounds needs to find ways to hold on to the ball. 1 fumble so far by Tucker. Crucial fumble allowed the Cadets to score off of that.
Well, I think Tucker just needs to see more time. You know, he gets 1 play and he's already back on the sideline watching. So I'd love to see if they can get him more opportunities just to kind of right that wrong from earlier and show the kind of senior leadership he has.
As corner is going to be under center, gives it over to Knutson. Knutson has a seam, but gets swallowed up by the entire offensive line for the Greyhounds and some defense from the Cadets.
Stop by 17, Anthony Moore for the Cadets. 82 on the play.
As Knutson's going to come out after that one, Johnson's going to go back in. Greyhounds looking to put some string plays together to get down the field, and so far they've been on a good roll. A 3rd and 9, though, is not something you want to face just early in the the third quarter.
Corner's pass complete. To 4, EOL Villette. That's good enough for another Carmel Greyhounds first down.
Ends on being away with small pass plays like that could be the biggest difference maker in this game.
A good saying I like to say is, when in doubt, 5-yard out. But as Johnson is going to take that one and tries to find a seam, but this Cadets defense has been able to swallow any running back up anytime they are running towards either the right, left, or even the middle of this D-line, as it looks like a player is going to be down. The 4th injury of the day in total, as that's going to be the 3rd injured player for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, you do hate to see it. This one does look a little bit more severe than the other 3 we've seen today.
As
we step
on
away.
The ground, I believe that is, cannot tell from up here. Not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all for the Greyhounds to be down what it seems to be 3 of some of their top players.
But Pollard is back in.
Pollard is back in. He was injured earlier.
We have not seen Eugenio recently.
He was actually, it looked like his right knee was wrapped up, as that's actually going to be Spencer Barrett, the right tackle, who was on the ground, luckily able to get up. Now Spencer, he might be one of the strongest guys that I have seen at the high school level of football.
Definitely, and this Hounds O-line is really is taking a beating tonight, and that is not the kind of loss you want to see from your right tackle.
You do not want to see one of the strongest positions to be lost, as the Greyhounds have not had a strong right tackle or even strong offensive lineman since Justin Pickett back when they won the state championship in, I believe, 2018. And he's now at Duke and doing a lot of other things, as corner is going to try and zip it to Pollard. He's going to try and break a tackle, but gets brought down at the 40-yard line as miscommunication, as corner was thinking about a play-action pass or a handoff, and that play kind of went nowhere.
Stop by 17, Anthony Moore.
Yeah, it seems almost every pass play that Colner tries to get off, either he has to scramble or he chooses to anyway, and neither one is a great outcome.
And you're right, neither one is a great outcome. We've seen him really kind of build some trust, though, in this game with the coaching staff. He's been able to throw a few passes and a few down the field, but he needs to work on consistency, as he's going to be in shotgun here. Looks over to Tucker as Tucker breaks away and gets dragged down at the 20-yard line, and it may be a late hit, so the ball may be advancing inside the 10.
Yeah, it's great to see the pocket did not collapse there, and that was a major difference maker, giving Colner time to read the defense, see where his options are, and get a great pass for a first down.
As we're waiting for the call, and I believe it is going to be a late hit call, so ball is going to be advanced at the 10-yard line, giving the Greyhounds a chance to put one in to the end zone.
To the goal. That's good enough for another Carmel Greyhounds first down.
And for any of you who can hear our announcer announcing all of our PA announcements, he is giving us a run for our money, I feel like.
Oh,
Noah.
he's so good at his job.
Oh, yeah. The corner's going to be in shotgun with Johnson to the back. And it's going to be a quick pass as he's going to roll out to his left, looking for blocks from Mace. Mace is going to let the blocker go as it's going to be a 4-yard gain. So 6, as it's going to be 2 and 6 now to go for a chance for the Greyhounds to punch one in.
Yeah, same situation that we saw near the end of the first half. You have first and goal, you have this opportunity, you got 4 chances. And that's more than enough for Carmel if they can just get a little bit of a screen 10 yards out, or like we just saw earlier, if we can get a little bit of a QB scramble, any way to just get those 10 yards and punch it in.
Any way to get the ball into the end zone is what the Greyhounds are looking for, as Mace is at the bottom of your screen, and Johnson is going to take the snap and get demolished very quickly by the strong tackling force of Santonio Hendricks, as he was able to fly in and be more of a hybrid safety and run downhill to tackle quickly Johnson.
That was still positive yardage for Johnson, and they're chipping away, just trying to get closer to that end zone. Still 2 more opportunities just to get two more yards.
And like you said, 2 more opportunities. It's a 3rd and 2, so you have this, and then 4th down territory. You got to go for it if you are down by 20 points. And it's just the 3rd quarter with 3:42 left to go, and it's going to be a full-back dive for Pollard. Pollard is going to get pushed by his own players and possibly into the end zone. And the ball comes out at the end, but they're going to say he may be down in inches to the end zone. We're waiting for the ball placement as players are getting lifted up. Hopefully no one is injured here, as we've seen a handful of injuries already with the hot day. May have cooled down a little bit, but it's a little too hot for you and me.
It is a little too hot. Well, we got one more chance for 1 more yard here for Carmel. And a very quick 3rd quarter, way faster than the first 2 quarters flew by.
As the Greyhounds line up for a possible chance to get this extended, and they're going to hand it to Pollard once again, but he's going to be pushed by his own teammates. He's in. The Greyhounds have scored. The Greyhounds have scored. A fullback dive to Ozzie Pollard, a 1-yard touchdown for Pollard, and that's the 2nd one for him on the season.
Just chipping away, this Hounds team is. Still just under 3 minutes left to play in the 3rd. And the Hounds got a little something rolling. And we'll see if the defense can kind of match that, can kind of counter punch for punch and keep the game rolling.
What I would say is the Greyhounds, for most people thinking that this game would be almost a wash for the Cadets, the Greyhounds are...
I had no faith in them going into this game. Looking at, obviously this is the Cadets' first game, but last year they were beating teams by 40, 50 points on a weekly basis. And just Carmel sticking around is really showing the versatility of this team, the resilience of this team, and what this team is made of for the rest of this season, especially if they can tack on a little more and make it especially interesting down the stretch.
And this is the thing, this team is out of state. So for Carmel holding down their home fort, it feels like they may be only 1 or 2 steps behind a team that has won back-to-back state champions, has made and produced NFL talent, and has a 4-star recruit in Jeremiah McClendon who stepped up this game. But Greyhounds have been able to be knocking at the door, and they are looking to knock it down.
Well, definitely the entertaining home opener we had hoped for. Lots of action hopefully still to come as the Hounds are set to kick off with just under 3 minutes left in the 3rd.
As it's a 21-34 lead for the Cadets at the home field of the Carmel Greyhounds. Clock dipping under 3 minutes, 2:52 to go. Plauschek is going to line up to deliver this one, as he's had 4 touchbacks already in this game.
Just a little too strong.
A little too strong, but I think a strong leg is good, because maybe if he puts a little more power, he might be able to knock it into the field goal.
Wish I had legs that strong.
As Plauschek delivers this one, it's going to go over the head once again.
Oh, who would have thought?
You know, that almost went in.
It almost did.
If he gets it a little higher.
I think he reached the back line.
He did.
Yeah.
So let's
Greyhound Nation, Mike Sutton.
But as the Cadets are running out to the field, Greyhounds are looking to get a stop here. 21-34 lead for the Cadets in the home field of the Greyhounds. 13 points down. Check my math. Is that right, Noah?
13 points, yes.
Thank you. As it's going to be Neal giving the handoff to Stewart. He's going to find a seam and get not brought down, but he's going to pick up the first down for the Cadets.
Small things like that we've seen all night from Carmel, where they just get so close to getting a great play. They knock him down just a couple yards after scrimmage, and he gets back up and keeps running for a first down. Not what you want to see.
And the big story here is the total yard difference.
Yeah.
For the Greyhounds, 145 in total, but for the Cadets, adding to their totals, 368. As Neal has Corey Sims wide open, and Hunter Snow is able to track him down, but Hunter Snow got beat by Sims, the 3-star wide receiver who has 7 offers in total after that play. He might be getting a few as he was able to beat one of the top players on defense for the Greyhounds, Hunter Snow.
Yeah, it's rare you only want to have one defender on a guy of that caliber, but when it happens, that's what happens.
And no stoppage, the ball is out! The ball is out and the Greyhounds may have recovered it, as Artie Bryant was the first on top, but it looks like Neal was able to dive onto it, so the Cadets are going to hold position. As Noah, you said earlier, you have not seen a lossage of yards, as right there, that may have been one of the first yards. Excuse me, it looks like the referees are not going to agree with the ball coming out, as they're going to place it at the 31-yard line.
Strange.
Very strange. As Neal's going to have 2 to his right, and he's going to give a quick handoff. And a big hit there. As the first person to get to him was Artie Bryant. He's had an immense impact on this game tonight.
For sure, Bryant really making an impact on defense. We've talked a whole lot about this whole crew and just how great they are. Peterson, we've said, has been the MVP, but Bryant's really just showing how great he is too.
As Neal's going to be at the quarterback position, looks to his left, zips it over, and almost an interception by Christian Peterson, but he breaks up that pass. 4th and 5, the Cadets are facing the 3rd time they may be going for it. They are 1-2 for tonight. If the Greyhounds are able to stop this, they have a chance to go down the field and put up another score and limit this game to maybe 6 points, as it is a 13-point lead for the Cadets.
Yeah, just off Peterson's hands. If he could have handled that, he was gone.
As Neal's going to take the snap, Greyhounds are dropping everyone into coverage, as that's an over-the-shoulder catch, and the Greyhounds get a stop. The Greyhounds have gotten the 2nd, 4th stop of the night, as the crowd is using that energy, and they're giving it back to the players.
Hounds Nation is rocking, rally towels are flying, and the momentum, as we've been saying, is back with Carmel. They are going to take this and hopefully march down.
As I believe it may have just been a timeout.
Timeout is called, yes.
You and I, you
scared me for a second.
Yeah, for any Greyhounds fans listening, that great pass breakup by Christian Peterson.
Excellent.
And then really just overthrew by Neal to, I believe, Corey Sims, who called for the ball. He said that he was wide open, but it's really just that chemistry and trust that you have to build with that quarterback and wide receiver, and it may have just been miscommunication.
Well, excellent coverage still, and it just, you kind of got to put it just a little bit out in front of him, and Sims couldn't reach out and handle it. As we got just over a minute left in this 3rd quarter, how great would it be to see the Hounds take that minute and get it down to a 1-score lead with a whole quarter left?
And I really think the fans are waking up. We had the Let's Go Carmel chants by the Greyhound student section just a few moments ago. The Greyhounds need to use this momentum. Your defense has stepped up as much as they can. You had Christian Peterson with a great pass breakup. You just had a drop pass. You need to capitalize on this drive. As the head coach, Hubert, is down there talking to his offense, telling them, we need to use this time now. Noah, if you were in that huddle and you were the head coach for the Greyhounds, what are you telling your team?
I'm going to be blunt. Don't be stupid about it, all right? You're given this chance. You're given an opportunity to really make a difference in this game. You can't be, if you're the offensive line, you can't let coverage get right past you. If you're a running back, you got to find the holes. If you're a receiver, you got to hold on to the ball. Everybody's got to be doing their part to make this drive go well.
As Knutson is going to get the snap, had a seam and falls
30, Brady Knudsen on the carry for the Greyhounds. Still by 17, Anthony Moore for the Cadets.
Hounds are finding their stride as this game felt like a blow after the first quarter, and the Greyhounds have pretty much gone through thick and thin.
Yeah, just about everybody in this stadium lost faith in this Hounds team, but they've marched right back, and they're making it interesting as the clock starts to tick down near the end of the third quarter.
As a new formation is going to be seen by the Greyhounds, it's going to be a play-action pass as bad communication as Coyer was trying to throw into double coverage on Battelle, as that would have been a dangerous pass if that was anything near Battelle in that.
Yeah, E really did not have the breakaway he wanted, and so you almost got to be grateful that nobody caught it because you'd be worried that it would fall into a cadet's hand.
As the Greyhounds are waiting for the call from the sideline, break the huddle. You're going to be having two receivers down at the bottom of your screen, Mace and Battelle. Pollard is going to be motioned over, one at the top. In the backfield is going to be Tucker. Coyer is going to roll out, and it's going to be a dropped pass by Battelle, as that would have been a first down for the Greyhounds, and they were not able to capitalize on a great stop by their defense.
Well, like I said going into it, everybody's got to do their part, and he was not doing their part there. Battelle just could not hold on to the football right in his hands, and it'll be a forced punt here for Carmel.
As Plaszczak is going to line up to receive the punt here, and on the receiving end for the Cadets, it's going to be Zachy Smith, one of the most agile players out there on the field for the Cadets, is able to run a 40-yard dash under 4.4, and he might be one of the most collegiate, as that one's going to be touched, so it could be ruled a fumble, as he's going to break one tackle, break another, and the Greyhounds are going to bring him down at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, a little bit of a scare there for the Cadets, bouncing off the foot of their kick returner, but they recovered it, and they got decent field position here with 6 seconds left in the third quarter.
6 seconds left. Enough time to possibly kneel the ball and go into the fourth quarter.
I don't think they'll kneel the ball in the third quarter.
You're right. You know, they might.
They might.
They might. You know, let's see. What? Okay, no, they're going to run a play. They're going to run a play. I was thinking you could try and get out of the quarter, end it. But, you know, you're right. They're going to try and run a play. As McKee's going to be in at quarterback, and Stewart is just going to break away and get hit by 4 Greyhounds to bring him down.
Yeah, 4 Greyhounds needed just to bring down McKee with that gain of 12 right there. That'll end the third quarter. Hounds still down 13 as a big huddle comes in over on the Carmel sideline.
What it looks like is the Hounds are able to at least get a touchdown every quarter.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way, they are able to score almost every single quarter that has happened. More than what they did last week.
Right.
So this just shows how much one-week progression can impact the team.
Well, and offensively, they're outplaying themselves last week, and they're outplaying everybody's expectations going into this week. The defense has given up a lot, but that's to be expected with the caliber of this offense from Christian Brothers. The offense has really been outstanding compared to the circumstances and what we've seen from them last week.
You're right, but on the other side, the Cadets, it feels like they might be in a little bit of trouble.
Right.
We've seen them living up to what they are known for, scoring above 20 points, 30 points. They're at 34 now.
I've seen 60 out of them before.
You know, they have highlights that are unreal. We've seen them kind of slow down. The defense from Carmel might be the biggest highlight of this game. Not anything crazy, but they have shut them down.
And that can be the effect, just a little bit of an advantage with Carmel already having that one game under their belt. The Cadets are coming off fresh. This is their first game of this season, so there's a lot of adrenaline in those first 2 quarters. Then the gas starts to come off a little bit.
You're right, and as the defense is going to run out onto the field for the Greyhounds, Cadets offense is looking to continue to make impacts, as we've seen 2 quarterbacks in this game, Cole McKee and Neal, as this team, the Cadets, really trying to throw different looks at the Greyhounds defense, and they have stood strong throughout all of this. As McKee is going to have 2 running backs in the backfield, and it's going to be given off as Stewart is going to be brought down strongly by Dom Shockley. Or excuse me, Drew Cannon.
Stop by 11, Drew Cannon for your Greyhounds. Gain of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 from the 45-yard line. Jeremiah McClellan on the carry for the Cadets. Stop by 7, Hunter Snow for the Greyhounds. 1st and 10 for the Cadets. Ball on the 32-yard line. Johnson on the carry. Tackle by 36, John Luke Gitchell. At 38, Jimmy Winbush Jr. Loss of 1 on the play. 2nd and 11 from the 33-yard line.
Fine. He's able to break away and pick up what it looked like could have been a negative yards and made something out of nothing.
Like we were saying earlier, McKee gets hit by 5 guys there, and he still finds a way to get positive yardage. Most guys cannot do that, and that's what makes this cadet team so good.
As we're getting let's go defense chant by the Carmel Greyhounds. As 3rd and 6 to go. 21-34 with the clock just about to dip under 10 minutes. McKee is the quarterback here with Stewart in the backfield. As it's going to be over the top thrown, and it's going to be an amazing catch by Corey Sims as he reached up for that one over 2 Carmel defenders.
Yeah, that was one of those heads or tails plays. You got to flip a coin. Is it going to end up in the hands of the Cadets, or is Carmel going to take away with it? Quarterback McKee was hit on the play. And so it's just kind of those, you know, those 50-50 chance plays.
As McKee is going to roll out, zips that one over to the corner, and Corey Sims gets his first touchdown of the night, and the Cadets extend their lead to 21-40 as this game might be out of hands with only 9:44 left to play.
Yeah, no Carmel defender even saw Sims on that play. He was untouched and unseen. Every single defender had their back towards him when he caught that ball.
And that's the difference between coaching styles from both teams. The Cadets are more focused on passing the ball and really likes to rely on their play action passes. If you can keep the defense guessing, you're going to be able to really get anything you want. The Greyhounds this year are more of a let's run the ball.
Right. Well, the Cadets have the benefit of having the options. They have weapons on either in the backfield or through the receiving corps. And so it's going to keep defenses guessing when you have no clue who's coming up because every guy is that guy.
And every guy is that guy, as the Cadets really like to use. You see the difference in team size.
Right.
That team over there is consisted of, at most, maybe 40 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Carmel's team is consisted with maybe 90 guys over here on the field. So it's the depth.
Well, and that comes down to even school size. Carmel is a massive school, as we all know, nearly 6,000 people. Christian Brothers is a private school, just under 900 people. And so that's going to really condense it, but it's also going to bring in the best of the best.
It is. If you had to compare this team, I would compare it to the school in Florida, MIG Academy, just because that is such a prestige school for sports.
Right.
This school, Christian Brothers College in the name.
Right.
This team is not a college, it's a high school, but they
play like one.
They play like one strong college. As the Cadets are going to line up to send this once more to the Greyhounds with 9:44 left to play in the final quarter of play. 21-41 is the score. Greyhounds down by 20 in their home stadium. as this one's willing to return. Tucker's going to take it to the 24-yard line. So the Greyhounds with somewhat good field position, as they're going to have 4 more yards than what they would normally have.
Yeah, well, just under 10 minutes to play. This is going to be one of those games where the Hounds really just got to muster up a miracle. Down by 20, you feel like we've been down by 20 the entire game. And so they chip away, they get some scores. I feel like I've been saying chip away the entire game, but that's what they've been doing. Just getting enough to stay relevant, but they can't quite get over the hump to get this game tied up or even close to tied up.
And what I would say is the Christian Brothers Cadets ate their lucky charms today.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been a lot of luck on their side, and the Greyhounds have not been able to capitalize on some mistakes that have happened by Christian Brothers, as Knudsen is going to be faked, and I was actually faked out on that, and Coyer is able to take that down, and the ball came out. And it looks like waiting for the call from the referee. It's going to stay with the Greyhounds, as Coyer was able to push down the field with, I was faked out on that play.
Yeah, he excellent way to keep his composure. Just really kept his head down and ran, and then when the ball came out, recovered it and kept the possession with the Hounds.
And that's the first time we've seen that tonight.
Right.
A quarterback draw, designed run for Coyer, as he was able to pick up enough yards to push the ball downfield almost past the 50-yard line, which the Greyhounds have not been much throughout the night, as it may be a jet sweep, but it's going to be a run to Johnson. Johnson is going to stutter step and pick up a few more yards for the Greyhounds to send it to a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, going back to that play by Coyer, we don't expect him to be a very mobile quarterback. He's able to scramble in the pocket and get away from defenders, but that's not the play we typically see from him very often.
And like you said, not typical, but they might be throwing more of that in tonight. If they were able to fake you and me up here, we have a better view than the players down there.
The theme for right now in this game is why not? Right. Down by 20 in the 4th quarter, why not try a QB draw, see what happens, and it worked out.
It did, as Coyer is going to be in the backfield with Tucker. 2 to his right, or excuse me, 1 to his right, 2 to his left. Coyer is going to call for the ball here, as the Cadets are going to bring 5. Thinks about the pitch, gives it to Tucker. Tucker is going to spin away and get past the 40 and get brought down at the 36.
Who doesn't love an option play?
Those are some of the hardest plays to run.
Oh, no. Oh yeah. They spend hours at practice just getting those down because they're so hard to perfect, but when you can't perfect them, they're almost impossible to defend.
You're right. And it's so hard for the quarterback's eyes, though, because you have to look, where's the linebacker? Where's this guy who's coming at me? Is my guy open if I toss it to him? And we saw Tucker just spin off of the defender and make something out of probably 1 yard is what they would have gained. He was able to pick up 8. As Coyer is going to get the snap here and holds it once again by himself, gets the Christian Brothers defense confused and breaks away as he's at the 10. Breaks to the 5, almost at the pylon, dives at the pylon. And it's going to be a touchdown for the Greyhounds. Anthony Coyer takes it all the way for the Greyhounds. It extends the lead for the Greyhounds.
Oh my goodness, where did that come from? Anthony Coyer's been stagnant
Touchdown for the
entire
Greyhounds.
game.
Anthony
Staying
Coyer
in the
takes it
pocket,
all the way for the
scrambling a little bit when it breaks,
Greyhounds.
but this
It extends the
possession,
lead
he's
for
been
the
using his legs
Greyhounds.
for a
Oh
lot
my
of
goodness,
positive
where
yards.
did that
and
come
we
from?
can see
Anthony
that and hopefully see a whole lot more to come rest of this game and the rest of this season.
As that was a 2-minute drive for the Greyhounds. 27-41 lead for the Cadets. Greyhounds defense needs to step up and not allow the Cadets to run over them like they have throughout this game.
I don't believe it's quite time for an onside kick, but you might want to think about it.
We saw it in the Super Bowl.
We did.
That one time.
We're all familiar.
Was it the Colts and
That was the Colts and the Saints. Yep.
There we go. I'm not a Colts fan.
Oh, why's that?
I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
For how long?
You know, for the longest time, actually.
Really?
I mean, initials, KC.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like were born into it. Like,
Exactly,
it was just
right?
like your ancestral right. I would agree. All right.
28-41 lead for the Cadets, as the Greyhounds, they are making Cadets work for this game. They are not backing down. Coyer has made amazing plays. He has stepped up as the sophomore quarterback and gaining the trust of the head coach of Hubert. And he's showing he can run the ball. He can pass the ball. What can he not do?
Yeah, it seems every time we give up on this Carmel team, they surprise us and just try to stay in the game just a little bit longer.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, they have been able to jump around. It feels like they're playing hopscotch out there.
It does.
Because, you know, you get that one box and then get your two. Mm-hmm. And anytime you get to that two, it's more of like 50-50. It's not 100%.
Right. You big hopscotch fan?
Here and there. I dabble in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you one too?
I dabble.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you ever played shuffleboard?
I have hopped my scotch before.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually have never done this before, but, you know, as the cadets are actually, well, they might be hopping their scotch here as they're looking for an onside kick as Plaszczak is going to line up. And it's going to be a squib kick just up into the air over to McCullen, and he's going to not fumble, but juggle that. The Greyhounds are not able to bring him down. He's able to stay on his tiptoes and brings the ball to the 29-yard line as the Greyhounds defense is coming out to the field. As they've allowed 41 points, you cannot be mad at how well they have actually played.
Right. 41 points, but also 468 total yards. The Cadets aren't just scoring, they're taking their time scoring. They're marching all the way downfield scoring.
But the defense has stepped up as well. A few injuries, but we've seen Artie Bryant, we've seen Christian Peterson, and we've also seen someone that's not really known much on the team, Drew Cannon.
Right. Cannon really stepping up. Yeah, it's important to know when guys start to go down, guys get injuries, the best guys step up, and they make their name known in this game.
It's going to be a quick handoff for the Cadets, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain, so 2nd and 6 left to go as it's going to clock 7:20 left. The Greyhounds were able to score in just about 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and the Cadets might just kind of run the clock down here.
Yeah, I say a 3-and-out here, and you really think there's a chance. Anything else, you start to worry again. But then again, we've counted the Hounds out numerous times tonight, and they keep changing our minds and making us believe again.
Hey, 13. That's the key number. The key number is
13 points.
It's 2 scores, and you could tie the game if you miss a field goal. But we've seen Plaszczak been able to knock down anything. As it's a breakaway for Harris, as he's going to be dragged down to the 50-yard line. That's an issue.
That's a problem. We don't want to see that.
As the Cadets are pretty much able to run over the Greyhounds tonight with almost 200 rushing yards, a total of 196 on the ground, which is numbers that you really think of are video game numbers.
Right. This is a video game team.
It's a video game team in a high school level.
Mm-hmm. And they're called a college.
They are called a college. Almost 500 yards total for the Cadets in their first game of play. 276 passing, 214 running, while the Greyhounds have only thrown the ball for 69 yards and 156 rushing yards. As a high snap, ball's going to be given away to Stewart. Stewart's going to power through the strong defense of the Greyhounds to get taken down as he's going to gain the first down.
Yeah, we keep asking the entire night, how many Carmel defenders does it take to take down a Cadet rusher? And it seems to be growing with every single opportunity. More and more guys are needed just to take down these massive rushers.
It feels like they might need an extra man on the field, maybe 12 men instead of 11, but the Greyhounds are playing. It feels like they're playing with fire here.
Speaking of 12th man, Greyhound Nation is still full. They still believe in their team. That's just 6 minutes left in this game. Hounds still down 13.
28-41 is the score as McKee is telling his wideouts to get over, as it looks like the Cadets are going to need to rely on a timeout here, as that's going to push them down to only 1 timeout left in this game.
Timeout.
Yeah, 1 timeout, but you're not overly concerned with saving your clock and utilizing the time, because if you're Christian Brothers, you just want to drain that right now. If that clock went down to 0 right now, you would have no issues. So if they can use that timeout right now to regroup and just put this game out of reach with 6 minutes left, they'll do that. They're not worried about saving their timeouts.
You're right, and you could eat those words later.
I could.
You don't know what could happen here. This game is full of chances. We saw Norval Tucker earlier with a fumble and allowed the Cadets to score, but we don't know how good ball security is on the other side.
Yeah, I was here for that Carmel King game in 2021, and there was a lot of scoring just in that last 2 or 3 minutes. So anything's possible here with the Carmel Greyhounds.
And like you said, the Carmel King game might be It's like the Minneapolis Miracle, but
one of the greatest games we've seen here.
And for viewers who do not know what we are talking about, it was a Hail Mary to win the game. I believe it was over 50 yards thrown for that Hail Mary. And for I believe, was that also the game that there was a thunderstorm?
Yes, that there was a thunder delay.
Yeah,
that was also, I cannot remember his name. King had a quarterback that was highly scouted.
He was a 5-star.
Yes,
5-star.
Super.
I think he's at USC now.
Yes, student section chanted overrated at this kid, and he tied the game with about 30 seconds left.
And the Greyhounds were able to march down the field and really kind of, calm and composed.
Right.
But if you're able to get a 50-yard bomb and win the game, you can do whatever you want. That's what I'm saying.
I believe I rushed the field that night.
I think I left early that game.
Yeah.
As it's a high snap, and Stewart is going to break away to the left side, cuts through, and it looks like the ball came out. The ball has come out, and oh my goodness! I told you would have to eat your words, Noah. The Greyhounds have a chance to extend this pretty much miracle of a game that is going on.
This defense keeps stepping up time and time again, this time with a fumble. Last week it was the interception for 6, so this time we'll see if they can step up, if they can punch it in, if they can make it just one-score game. 6 minutes left. It's in the offense's hands now.
It is in the offensive hands. They might be relying more on some designed runs for their quarterback, Colner, or the Greyhounds may be relying on some of their star players like Norval Tucker to make an impact. We've seen 3 running backs throughout the game for the Greyhounds, and Tucker, Knutson, and Johnson, all 3 have made an impact to total 156 rushing yards. But this is the Greyhounds' time. As Colner's going to take the snap, and the ball is going to come out. Cadets have come back and a fumble, as I believe the person to go down is Knutson, as he was popped.
I don't believe it.
As that is a sad sight for any Greyhounds fans, as Brady Knutson is going to be down, and that's the 5th injury of the night.
Yeah.
It is not good to see anyone get injured.
Nothing good happened on that play for Carmel.
As
also, this is a great time for
looks like Knutson is able to walk and limp just slightly, needs some help.
Yeah, he is not using his own strength very much right now.
He is not. He's going to need it. I could not really see if he got where he got hit.
Yeah.
But all I saw is he got hit hard.
For Carmel, though, you hate to see injuries. You hate to see it.
That's the 4th injured Carmel player.
It is. But the only upside for this is that you still have a strong rush unit for the Hounds. You still have Tucker. You still have Johnson. And so you don't feel put out. As much as you hate to lose your running back, you still got 2 more, and you still have a game to play.
You're right. And Greyhounds cannot be they cannot look at themselves right now and be like, we messed up.
Right.
Your defense stepped up. Your defense still has a chance to step up, as the Cadets are going to try and rush this one in, and it's going to get down to the 2-yard line. As Johnson was on the carry for the Cadets, knocking on the door of another score to extend their total to possibly 47-28, possibly 48, and we're going to possibly see 7 total touchdowns scored this game. That's going to be another handoff for Johnson. He's going to run up the middle, and he might be stuffed as he is in. Johnson is going to score, and the numbers on rushing is insane.
That's unheard of. 253 rush yards, 255 rush yards, correction, for the Cadets. You don't see that very often.
You do not see that.
Especially at a defense at the caliber that Carmel has.
You're 100% right. That defense that the Greyhounds have is just insane, but it's the passing, too. Greyhounds do not have a lot of trust in their sophomore quarterback. And Anthony Colner only thrown the ball, I want to say maybe 10 times.
Yeah.
Completed maybe 3 or 4 passes compared to last week where he threw it for about 12.
He went 9 for 12, I believe.
9 for 12. And almost a block kick, as that one was blocked.
But it's in.
But it's in.
Cadets 48, Greyhounds 28.
For those Greyhound fans, hold your head up high. 5:27 left to play. Your offense is about to go on the field. Down 20. Last time they were down 20, they were able to bounce back and get a score.
I've seen more points scored in less time.
You're right.
You ever see that, I think it was Colts Buccaneers?
Colts Buccaneers. Have you seen the, who was it? It was Bengals in Kansas City.
Yes. I would say Colts Buccaneers. I want to say 2008, maybe. It was 2000s. And Colts scored, I think, 21 in 3 minutes. That's a story I'm going with. I may be wrong.
I think you might be wrong, but if you want to talk about another sport, Reggie Miller, I believe it was it 8 points?
8 in 9 seconds.
8 points in 9 seconds. So, unrealistic here in football, but it could happen. It could possibly happen. I know you're looking this up right now about your 2008 Colts and Buccaneers game. As the Cadets are going to line up for this next kick, Greyhounds are looking to really kind of go for the bone here and get something in.
All right, this was 2003.
Okay.
The Colts were down 35-14 with 5 minutes left.
As that's going to be the third flag, once again for a kickoff going out of bounds.
Just cannot keep it between the lines, can they?
They can't. I don't think I've seen this many flags off of a kicker in a long time.
Yeah, not a whole lot of flags tonight, but we have seen a lot from the special teams unit.
Special teams unit, they might need a little more practice. It is the first game for Christian Brothers Cadets, and it's the second game for the Greyhounds. And Josh Blaztek has been maybe an underrated MVP for the team.
Definitely.
4 for 4 on his field goals, is able to get touchbacks anytime he wants. His punting has been pretty much astronomical. That's how I'll put that. It's been out of this world because he's able to. He had that 1 yard pin,
right?
And since then he's been kind of sky high. He's been doing his thing. As Tucker, who's been relied more as a third down back, is going to be put in. As that may be
a couple guys jumped.
A great call, as it's going to be a neutral zone infraction by the defense. Ball's going to be advanced just a few yards.
First and 5 from the 40-yard line.
First and 5 at the 40-yard line, so the Greyhounds are knocking on Cadets territory. 28-48 is the score here at the home field for the Greyhounds. 5:27 left to play. Corner with Tucker in the backfield.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Hounds try to make this comeback, try to score quickly, or they're just going to keep the ball on the ground and let it run out.
As the play looked like to go nowhere, so there's going to be a flag, but the ball came out by corner. As there's a flag on the play, ball's going to be given to the Cadets, as I believe that's the third fumble of the game.
Holding on the offense is the penalty.
That one cannot save the Greyhounds there.
Nope.
As the Cadets are going to possibly knock on the door and get their 50-point total.
Yeah, starting to fall out of reach here for Carmel.
Fall out of reach, it's like picking up sand and letting it run through your fingers. That's kind of what it is. And the Greyhounds have tried their best to pick up as much sand as they can, but they're kind of left with just kind of dust and pieces. And the Cadets...
Nobody likes dusty hands.
No, but the Cadets are able to build a sandcastle.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As the Cadets trot out there for their, what it feels like maybe their 20 millionth drive of the game.
1000th.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As we're going to be seeing Neil back at the helm of the quarterback for the Cadets. Right guard change, as we're going to be seeing number 72 come in. Brady McCluster is going to change. As once again, Johnson is going to be able to break tackles, takes it from the 20, and gets brought down at the 15. Angry about that, thinking that he could take that one to the house. But great tracking by Chase Jarrett, who is able to track him down and save a touchdown.
First and 10 from the 13-yard line.
First and 10 now for the Cadets. Really just pushing the envelope now. Keeping the ball on the ground, trying to keep the game out of reach.
As the Greyhound student section looks like it's dissipating. Not much to be seen, as Johnson is going to be tried to be dragged down, and a big hit from Hunter Snow to come in and take him down. But the first person there was I believe, Artie Bryant, so credit him with that to stop him and hold him.
You ever leave a game as a freshman and you're looking for your mom in the parking lot and she's on the phone while you're wandering in the parking lot and you just cannot find her? I don't miss that.
What?
2nd and 7 for the Cadets.
4:20 left to play. 28-48 is the score here at the Carmel Greyhounds home stadium. As the energy seems to be out of place, as a quick pass over to Sims. Sims is going to get tracked down, and the ball came out at the end, but he was down before. Reese Williams.
Much as the student section starting to evaporate, there is little to nobody left in the main section too. So, if there is a miraculous comeback, we might be the only people here to see it.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
You know, that would be pretty fun to actually.
Nobody would believe us.
No, we got it live.
We do.
We got it live. So, for our live viewers, they were able to understand what's going on. But Noah, this game out of hands for the Greyhounds, it seems like. 3:48 left to go. The Cadets are knocking on the door of another score, and we have another player down for the Greyhounds, as I believe that's actually Drew Cannon, who's made an impact tonight.
Been a quiet MVP tonight.
Quiet MVP.
Yeah, this training staff has their work cut out for them this week.
They do. 6 players.
Recovering players here in just the week off before Trinity comes to town. Or
going to Trinity. 2 weeks in Trinity.
King comes to town next week.
That's a matchup to actually come to, and I think the student section will be more filled than it is tonight.
It'll be rocking down here.
Because they are looking for another Hail Mary performance or more of a blowout for the Carmel Greyhounds to blow out King, if that is possible. As the Greyhounds defense is going to trot out with the ball on the 7-yard line. The Cadets are looking to put another one up on the board, looking for their 8th touchdown of the game. 567 total yards for the Cadets tonight. 3rd and 4 to go.
Ridiculous.
As Neal is the quarterback. Motions over. Pingle gives it over to Johnson. Johnson has a seam. Looks for it, and he's going to be in for another touchdown for the Cadets. 28-54 is the score now. A chance to extend it now to 55 if they can. Noah, it's not looking good.
Yeah, excellent blocking all around there by the Cadets. Pingle trying to get in. He wasn't even touched till about the 1-yard line.
As the kicker for the Cadets is going to come out, I feel like they could put they could have some fun out there, you know? Put someone else out kicker.
I'd like an opportunity.
You want to go down there?
Yeah.
Try it out?
Uh-huh.
You know, I tried that one time.
Really?
I was not so good at it.
I've never been good at kicking field goals.
Really?
Really.
Play soccer before?
Nope.
Oh, it's about the same. Not really. Like half and half. As that one's going to be up through the uprights and hits the scoreboard.
Cadets 55.
Thank you for laughing at me for that one.
I didn't hear a laugh.
I know you held it in. I was talking too fast for my brain to, like, you know,
I do that sometimes.
Compete.
We're having fun here. 3.5 to go here in week 2 at Carmel. Hounds down 55-28 to the Cadets.
As the Greyhounds are going to be coming out for another receiving.
You know what I appreciate, Casey? The Christian Brothers College Cadets fan base making the 4-hour drive out here. Not too many of them, but just enough to notice.
There's actually, I would say, maybe 110, 120 people over there.
It's way more than you would expect for as long as that drive is.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Those people are committed. They're committed to watch their sons play some football.
And they came to see a good win for the Cadets.
You're right. It's a big win for the Cadets already, unless, you know, you did eat your words that one time, and then, you know, I kind of ate mine.
I'm full.
But, you know, you did. You had your Chick-fil-A earlier, didn't you? Yeah. I snagged a little piece of pizza. My one piece.
Your one piece.
I was limited
the
to
one piece you're permitted.
Yep. I was not able to snag anymore, but I'll take my one. You know, as the student section is going to continue to evaporate for the Greyhounds. And they may be missing a comeback for centuries to come.
You know, you got to appreciate those fans that do stick around.
You're right. You know, if I was down there, I would still stick around. You got to finish the game.
It's a little hot out.
You still got to finish it, though, you know. It's a big game. 28-55 is the score. 3:24 left to play. Cadets are about to kick it off to the Greyhounds, and it's underway as that one's going to be received at the 15-yard line. It's going to be a quick tackle, and the Greyhounds are going to be start with somewhat good field position at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Hounds just an opportunity here to see what they can do, just try to have a little fun out here with not too much time left. Maybe mix it up, take this time as some extra practice.
And what it seems to be is more rushing yards than passing yards for the Cadets.
Yep.
Almost 300 rushing yards.
Well, almost 300. Well, yeah, almost 300 pass yards too.
That team is a scary team for anyone to go up against.
This is a well-balanced squad, both offensively and defensively, with the rush game, with the pass game.
As Coyer,
near flawless.
Coyer is going to give that one to Johnson for a 2-yard gain. So 2nd and 8. If you're really able to at least get 2 yards every time you run the ball, that's not that bad.
Oh yeah.
You're more looking for guys who are able to at least get 4 to about 3.5 per carry. That's the range that I would rank.
J.P. Metzler on the stop for the Cadets. Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 from the 27-yard line.
You know,
2nd and 11.
What was that? There was that one game where this guy couldn't hold on to the ball, and it was like 2nd and 97 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, where like it just keeps going backwards, and yeah.
This Coyer's going to take the snap once again, gives it over to Johnson, tries to find a seam as he's going to be taken down quickly by the Cadets once again. And it's really looking like the Cadets are putting in maybe their 2nd-string guys. Not much left for them to do as their team has come out victorious.
Yeah, 2nd-string guys, but still keeping the Carmel offense in check.
And we might. Do you think the Carmel might throw in Zach Trent here?
Wouldn't mind to see it.
Wouldn't mind. It would be a, maybe bring back a little bit of energy for the fan base that is still here. But sticking with Anthony Coyer to give him a few more reps.
Might as well let him finish out the game.
Right? As the clock dips under 2 minutes, 28-55. Coyer's going to take the snap, looks for play action, zips it over, and the Greyhounds have a first down, advancing the 45-yard line. As Jake Bellin, who's been called up from JV to play in this game, makes an impact with his first catch of the night.
Yeah, Bellin, not a whole lot of action so far tonight, but in late time and almost garbage time, he's really sort of making his name known, showing coaches what he's capable of.
You're right, and if you can get these opportunities, you're still in the game. If you score late, right now, that shows your coach that, hey, I'm still able to play. I will give everything I have out, even if the game may be a blowout.
A late touchdown with the game out of reach shows a lot about the kind of player you are.
As it's going to be a handoff. That ball looked like it could have been a fumble to Tucker if he was not able to really get under that one. As the Greyhounds are advancing the ball down the field, almost past the 50-yard line, at the 48 now. So a 3-yard gain by Tucker, 28-55. Clock is about to go under 1 minute left in the game. Greyhounds looking for a late score if they can. I'm telling you, 35-yard line, that's the goal.
Yep.
If you're able to get past that, you've accomplished. They've accomplished a bunch this game.
How about a field goal at the very end? Just to stretch out the leg.
Could be 31-55.
Yeah.
As Coyer's going to motion Ozzie Pollard and his big left tackle. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson. Johnson finds a seam up the middle, breaks away past the 40, and is going to be taken down at the 38. As Johnson has been kind of the entire offensive factor right next to Coyer tonight.
Yeah, Johnson really showing his stripes tonight, showing what he's capable of. Likely to see a lot more of him in weeks to come.
Yes, with the clock now under 30 seconds, 28-55, the score here. 1st and 10 for the Greyhounds, almost to that 35. As Coyer's going to go under center with Tucker in the backfield. Quick handoff to Tucker. Tucker's going to flip arms, and he's going to get swallowed up and taken down back at the 38-yard line. Clock is going to be ticking now from 10 seconds left to go. Might be the end of the game for both teams. And
handshakes will commence now as the clock expires. Final score is Cadets 55 to a Hounds 28.
And this is a game that you can go back and watch.
Right.
There's been a bunch of high scoring in the beginning. Greyhounds defense kind of woke up from the 2nd and 3rd quarter.
Right.
And then towards the end, I feel like the heat got to them. Maybe a little bit of stress because they were down by so much.
Right.
But this team put up a fight, and they put up a good one.
Sort of a 3-act play where you got the excitement of the first part. Hounds come back a little bit, but they just cannot finish it.
And it was more of the total yard.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a game that feels way closer than it looks. Like when you look at the scoreboard, you look at the stats, you think it's a blowout. You don't even think it is close, but when you go down and watch it, when you sit down and you see the storylines, it really feels like a close game and an exciting game to watch at that.
We saw the Ohio State commit, Jeremiah McClellan, put on a show. We saw them really just do as much as they could, and this is where both teams are going to walk away with their heads held high. The Cadets walk away with a 1-0 start to their season, and the Greyhounds are starting 1-1.
Yep, for sure. A lot of good football coming up for the Hounds. We will see you back here next week when King comes to town all the way from Detroit. Thanks for watching here on CHTV. I've been Noah Boudouris, joined alongside my friend KC, and we will see you next week. Have a good night. I gotta be.